Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, marks and smarks alike, we proudly welcome you to the internet's only wrestling podcast. That's right, we are the only one. We want to welcome you to Pin the Champ! Hey, welcome back everybody to a very special edition of Pin the Champ. How you guys doing today? First, I want to welcome back, of course, my host, Song, and Kyle. How y'all doing?
What up? What
Chillin',
up?
chillin'.
Sweet. And next, the reason why this show is so special, I want to welcome our guests from Wrestling Talks and Thoughts, our pals, Jermaine and Cyhim the Dream.
How you guys doing today?
See, I already messed up, Jermaine. I meant J Mack Maine. That's your boy. I already called you. I told you ahead of the show.
You got to include the Mack.
That's right. J Mack Maine. It's kind of like Vince McMahon.
Right. Yeah.
J Mack Maine.
Every time I hear y'all show's name, I feel like it's Talks and Thoughts.
It is.
No,
You
no,
mean thoughts. That hoe over there.
Oh, that's right. The thoughts. So
Thought
yeah.
talking.
So just a little bit of history. Me and Jermaine go back. We used to work together. I still work at the spot. He's moved on, but we used to be workmates on the same team. Back in the day, me and J Mac, we kicked it off over wrestling. He would come in wearing wrestling merchandise, realize he's a wrestling fan, and then we had a coworker that looked like a little Dolph Ziggler running around. Isn't that right?
Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But anyway, at one point, me and Jermaine were.
Well, they're here to show the world. Right?
They're here to show the world. We actually talked about at one point starting a podcast at one point, but we never actually did. Actually, he went on to do his thing with Cyhim. I went on to do my thing here with Song and Kyle on Pin the Champ. They did Wrestling Talks and Thoughts, but we've kept in touch, and we all, I've been on their show one time before, and now we wanted to get them here on our show today. And so we wanted to make it a special show. We didn't want to do just like another Monday Night Raw. We decided we've done Wrestlemania 9 before. We actually did Wrestlemania 9 recently. We did a listener request back in the day for Wrestlemania 7. So we thought we'd fill in the blanks with Wrestlemania 8. It's a real honor to have you guys on. We appreciate you guys coming on. It's our very first guest on the show. So fill our listeners in a little bit about y'all's show. I know it's like a wrestling news show. Tell us a little bit about your show.
Yeah, so Wrestling Talks and Thoughts, it's a periodic show. We try to do at least maybe like 2 episodes a week, but the norm is usually like 1 episode a week. We try to cover just the basis of what's going on in the wrestling world. Usually we cover a lot of WWE material. Right now we're fitting some AEW in there, and we cover some news and rumors that circles around or kind of focuses on the storylines that are going on and Raw, that's going on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, also in AEW. We even try to add some Impact. Usually if the wrestlers are hot, but that's just the premise of our show. We try to mix it up sometimes with some trivia or even some games. Just recently we did like a wrestling draft. So
I was going to mention that. Yeah, go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
Wrestling draft, and we every host or every guest on our show was assigned to a show to draft wrestlers to their show. So I was assigned to SmackDown. Jay Mack was assigned to Raw. And was Anthony Cobb. He was assigned to, I believe it was NXT. Okay, right. Who else? Travis was assigned to Impact, and Sean Keys was assigned to AEW. And we
Sean.
Yeah, Sean Keys.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah.
Right. And he joins us a lot sometimes. And,
I know it. I see him on there a lot.
Yeah. And so every wrestler from each of those rosters were thrown into like one big container, and we just drafted each one of our picks, as we went through rounds.
Mhm.
So that's some of the things that we do.
That sounds like a blast.
Right, absolutely. And most of the time we like to have guests on, or just have the real premise of our show is to really have people who log on to our show or watch our show live on YouTube or Facebook, really voice their opinion,
ask questions,
and share their opinions, ask questions, right? Engage them, and we really want to engage the wrestling community and know what they think about Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. So if anybody's listening, check us out on YouTube and on Facebook Live, Wrestling Talks and Thoughts, and subscribe.
Yes, absolutely. For any of my listeners, please go check them out. I was about to ask where they can see you, but you already were on top of that. Do go check out the show. It's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun being on there. So I do want to remind our listeners that our podcast is even more fun if you go watch the show. So if you haven't already, check out Wrestlemania 8 before or after you listen to this podcast, whichever you prefer, and you're going to get the most fun out of the show today. Okay. Jermaine.
Yes.
Man, please tell our listeners where they can listen to Pin the Champ.
All right. So here's some ways you can listen to Pin the Champ. Pin the Champ can be found on Apple Music, Spotify, Google, Amazon Music /Audible, Pandora, Podbean, and also on YouTube.
Yeah, so please check us out. Hopefully some of the Wrestling Talks and Thoughts people will be listening to this show. And
we're definitely going to let them know about
do that cross promotion. Absolutely. And let them know to check us out on any of those spots, and we can't wait for them to hear this episode. Okay.
See, if Vince would just have the same open-minded idea, it would be great.
Exactly. Some collaboration, right? Break down that fourth wall.
Right.
Now, damn, pal. I just think that podcasts are the way of the future.
Kyle, I'm glad the professor chimed in, because at this point I want to turn it over to our professor, because anytime we're going to have a new guest on, we want to know a little bit more about not only you and your wrestling podcast and your wrestling show, but we want to know about you as a wrestling fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I tasked my professor here earlier this week. I said, can you do me a favor, since you'll pretty much be meeting these guys, come up with some questions that are going to kind of just encompass like, who they are as wrestling fans. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to the professor and let him take it away.
So I would say, guys, the first question, I'm not going to go with the typical, like, who's your favorite wrestler? I want to know favorite match stipulation.
Okay. Favorite match stipulation. Jay, you go first. I think I told Jay, go ahead.
Would Money in the Bank be considered a match stipulation?
Yeah, it's a match. Yeah.
Okay. I kind of like that concept, and the reason I like it is because one, you compete, and I'm a fan of ladder matches. One, you compete in this ladder match. Outside of it being a ladder match, it's like a no holds barred extreme rules match, so you can double for your buck. And then the fact the winner of the Money in the Bank, they get to challenge any champion whatsoever at any time, So it's like if you're a champion, I mean, as of late, it's always been like the world champion or the universal champion, but it's more so good to have all champions on notice. Like I thought Otis was gonna cash in on the tag titles, which would have been a first. But that didn't happen, as we see. But
that's because you're more creative. That's because you're more creative than anybody working in creative right now, probably.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because obviously we definitely didn't see Otis as a heavyweight champion, nor intercontinental or US. But him and Tucker would have been cash on tag champs, and so that whole concept, I think, is like a real brilliant idea. And I think Jericho introduced the Money in the Bank, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah,
Wrestlemania.
He's the inventor of that.
Yep.
Never won.
Never won. And that's kind of awesome. That's
right.
kind of awesome that he's kind of never tried to pull that card. but it's also kind of sucks that he can't use that exact concept in AEW.
Right.
That sucks more.
But he kind of, I think he got the Casino Royale Battle Royal. I think it's like similar to the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But I think the entrance coming
there's
in.
no ladder.
True.
We want ladders.
I love that answer, Jermaine. Yeah,
that was a good. I appreciate that answer. It's a well thought out.
Money in the Bank's awesome. One of my favorites too.
Money in the Bank is for me one of those things that could be awesome, but they've just fucked it up so much, so many times in the last couple of years that it's just like,
as far as the match or the
winners doing nothing with it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like the match is always fine. I mean, it's one of those, for me, Money in the Bank is not only what you do with the match, but then what you do with it afterwards.
Right.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I definitely agree, because I always thought about Money in the Bank being that, like that catapult that's supposed to, like, shine a light on the next new superstar. Like,
right.
I felt like that was the whole premise of it. I thought that was the whole point of it. Like,
right.
Win of the Royal Rumble,
And then they let Brock Lesnar win it.
Or Randy Orton.
Right.
Randy Orton wasn't a compelling winner.
The hot new star, Brock Lesnar, right?
Right.
This young up and comer.
I like the cash-ins this year. Like, they haven't done anything with Nikki ASH, but of course, now the Big E thing was awesome. And then now, to me, the only fucking logical next step is an Xavier Woods world title win. Right. You have to have every member of the New Day at one point.
I mean, I don't know about Xavier Woods.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Personally,
really?
I don't know about an Xavier Woods world title win.
Really?
Okay, listen. If he won, it would be cool, right? Because it's like he's one
better
of those wrestlers you didn't kind of didn't really see as being world champion. But if he won, it'd be cool. Like, I'd be happy for him. But
did you see Kofi as world champion though?
Did I see? You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first seen Kofi, I said, he has potential.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I felt like they wouldn't give him the push based on the kind of guys they were booking.
That's kind of how. Yeah, he's got the ability, but I never thought they would give him that chance. Yeah. And so that's, by that same respect, I could see, especially with the built-in story that exists now, of how like New Day's a brotherhood, So it's like, to me, I feel like Big E and Kofi are going to push Xavier to be like, it's your turn.
Right.
I feel like booking sees him as I feel like booking sees him as a B player.
Yeah, B plus.
But to be honest with you guys, if Mustafa Ali can be the leader of Retribution out of nowhere, anything's possible.
Yeah, what happened to that though? I mean, Retribution was garbage.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said Retribution was garbage though.
It was. Yeah. It was booked horrible.
Once they all got dominated by the Fiend, I was like, yep, their career's over.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I say, to Mustafa Ali, he has potential. He's great on the mic. He's very
not as a leader.
Not as a leader yet. He wasn't developed properly. I would say. But in my opinion, I felt
we can go back to when. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no! I was going to say. I was just going to say that Seth Rollins should have took over. Should have been a leader of Retribution.
Gotcha. We can go. Yeah, we can go back to Mustafa Ali and how Kofi actually got his opportunity. Though that was supposed to be Ali's push at that point in time. True.
That's true.
So hopefully they haven't given up on him yet, because I like Mustafa Ali a lot. I think what he can do in the ring is different, and his mic skill, like you were just saying, he's pretty damn good on the microphone.
Yeah, I like him as a talker. I think he does that. Like, hey, maybe you guys should start cheering. Like, he does that heel shit where, like, he's saying true things that are good, but because WWE doesn't understand what a heel is and what a face is, they're like, oh, that's a heel. He's talking. Right.
That's true.
He's talking about being angry because people treat him differently because his skin is brown. He must be heel then. Right. Like that's so. I think if they I mean, but that's I'm going to say something that is of course like the fix for all things. If they just let it be more organic, then shit would be great. But
definitely
They can't allow it. You know why? Because Vince has to be in control. He has
right.
Yeah.
And Vince has no gauge on what's normal or what's hitting or anything. All right, we are getting off on a definite tangent.
The anti-woke.
So back to it. Great response.
Yes.
I love Money in the Bank. Cyhim, what's your favorite?
Yes, absolutely. My favorite. I'm sorry, I jumped again. I'm so excited.
No, it's okay.
Yes, Iron Man match. Favorite.
Love it.
Yes.
Because
Bret Hart.
And definitely, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. They set that tone for like just having high expectations for Iron Man matches, but I feel like it's like the end all be all or the start of great feuds. It also gives some kind of leverage to, like, say for instance, like Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega, right? I don't know if you guys seen the AEW.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That was awesome.
So it's even though they went to 30, even though they went over the time limit, of course they're going to probably wind up having an Iron Man match, but it's like, if they wanted to start out a match, whereas you were a fan favorite of Omega and I'm a fan favorite of Daniel Bryan, and they fought together and they just had this Iron Man match, they can both have 2 pinfalls and then run out the time limit and run it to a draw. Like, you could do so many things with an Iron Man match. You can run it to a draw, you can have sudden death.
Yep.
But I think my biggest thing is that having like technicians or great wrestlers go one-on-one in an Iron Man match, to me is like the best. Like, just pulling out all the stops, doing their best for like a whole hour. And but that's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a favorite Iron Man match?
My favorite Iron Man match would have to be The Rock and Triple H.
Oh yeah.
Because and it's hard because a lot of people usually choose Brett and Shawn.
Sure.
But my runner up is Brock and
Angle.
Brock and Angle. Matter of fact, Chris Benoit and Angle had an Iron Man match, right?
Shit.
For the world title, right?
I feel like they might have. I would have to look that up for sure.
It did, yes.
So hold on, so you would put Chris Benoit and Angle if they had one over Gargano and Cole?
Gargano and Cole.
Gargano and Cole. I didn't see that one.
Oh, you need to go back and watch that.
Okay, you know what? But the runner up, I would probably, because when you say Cole, the runner up would definitely have to be, I would say, okay, my first, Rock and Triple H. Second would have to be the 4-way Iron Man match with Finn Balor, Adam Cole. Who else was in it? It was two of them. Keith Lee and
was it Pete Dunne?
Yeah, I think it was Pete Dunne. Yeah.
I don't think I saw that one.
I gotta go see that one.
It was really good.
Is that a takeover?
No, it was actually on
NXT
because that's when Finn Balor, I think Adam Cole and Keith Lee end up going one-on-one.
Won't be seeing that kind of shit anymore in NXT.
No, definitely not.
No, that's when the NXT title was vacant. Yeah. And Keith Lee went to the main roster, and Finn Balor and Adam Cole went one-on-one.
Finn Balor. Right.
Yeah, but it was one of my favorites because you had one of the best at the time in NXT, Adam Cole, and then you had Finn Balor, one of the best, who's my favorite wrestler.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was just like, So to me, but then the reason why I say Triple H and The Rock is number one is primarily because that capsulized, that was like part of that whole great feud that they had in the early 2000s. Like that, in my opinion, I think that was like my favorite feud of all times. Like one of the greatest heels ever, probably my favorite heel ever, Triple H, and like one of the greatest like superstars, The Rock. And the fact that The Rock and Triple H were able to hold down the company the way that they did without Austin showed how much star power that Triple H had that they missed on. You know what I mean? Like after that whole Cole situation, like The Rock was already a star at that point, but when it was like Triple H's time, and I think that period gets overlooked for Triple H at times, like as far as how great he was as a superstar.
I have a follow-up question for you. So back in, I think with all of our ages being pretty close to each other, I would say, we were used to like the 1 hour Iron Man matches, but over the past couple of years, we've seen the rise of 30-minute Iron Man matches.
Right.
What's your feeling on these?
I mean, I feel like they do it to cut time.
Yeah.
To add in the book more matches, but I feel like if it's a pay-per-view, it needs to be an hour.
Right.
Yeah, 30 minutes, not a true Iron Man match.
Yeah, it's a regular match.
Really, yeah.
It's like a Raw Iron Man match or something. Right. It's like weird. Yeah. Okay, just wondering. Both awesome answers. Great question.
But I do have some good news for you though. Fresh off the press. I know Sal likes Iron Man matches. So you have an Iron Man match coming up on Raw.
Oh yeah.
I got a notification. Yeah.
Against who?
It's Eva Marie and Doudrop.
Come on, man. Fuck you, dude.
You can't be serious. Are you serious?
Man, with matches like that, I might start
fucking
watching
with
the product again.
It's going to be a 15-minute Iron Man match.
See,
I was about to lose my shit. I was like, oh, yeah.
That was a good one, Jay, man.
Eva Marie is my favorite wrestler, so I can appreciate that.
Well, at least she has one fan.
Yeah, well, I just want her to forever come out, do the bit where she's gonna wrestle, and then something happens. I think that is the funniest thing in the world, and I think it's the best way to waste about 15 minutes of a TV show that's already 3 hours long. Right. All right, next question, gentlemen. So not your favorite wrestler, least favorite wrestler. And with the stipulation, least favorite wrestler that other people love.
Oh wow.
This is the give me your controversial opinion.
Okay, least favorite, like saying like in a sense of like, you know what, like this guy, I never seen it in him, and I don't know why people like him, and even though he's even had great.
You just want them to go away.
Whatever your reason for not liking them is, you could be like, oh, I think this person is personally garbage.
Yeah.
I think that this person is in the ring, he's garbage, or what have you. Like, it's like, I'm sure there are, lovely people but I think, so and so is shit.
Not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good one.
I would have to say, and I almost hate to say this because I know I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot by saying this, because the reality is he is a great wrestler. He's given me classic matches, but I am still not a fan of his. I've never been sold on him. I thought he was great. I think he has a great look. I think he's a tremendous athlete, and I have to give him props where props is due. But I still cannot stomach this guy for the things he does, and that's Brock Lesnar. I can't.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. See, I would agree kind of on that. I don't really like guys who aren't here to wrestle. If you're not a wrestler, get the fuck out.
Right. Like, just go home. Like, stop.
Yeah. Like, and like, I'm right there with you. I can agree with that.
Was it an always hate? Never been a fan of, or is it like
his matches are fucking boring, man. I have never watched a Brock Lesnar match that is entertained me because of what Brock Lesnar is doing.
Okay,
that's not true. There's one time where during the Royal Rumble when he called Keith Lee a big fella, I thought that was funny.
That was pretty cool.
I thought that was
remember
funny.
That.
And maybe Brock with the Money in the Bank trolling everybody, but that again,
he didn't even say it. He mouthed it, didn't he? He just mouthed it. It was great.
That's not true. His first run with the WWE, he put on fantastic classic matches.
Also
with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania was awesome.
Yeah, that was one.
Was it awesome because of him or Kurt Angle?
Dude, you saw a 300-pound guy do a shooting star press.
and nearly died.
It's still pretty good. And he's a good wrestler. He's just like there for the paycheck. I can see why you don't like him now, but his first run, I don't know what you're talking about, Kyle. He's had great matches.
He also had good matches recently against Daniel Bryan and Finn Balor. I think he puts on really good matches against other athletic people.
Right.
When he likes them. But if he doesn't want to do something for you, he's not going to do it. You're going to end up like Randy Orton with a
or Braun Strowman
with a bloodied head.
He did not like Braun Strowman, man.
No, he didn't like Strowman either.
Oh man, but yeah, that's what I said. Like, I feel like I'm going to shoot myself in the foot because he's given us classic matches, like the Iron Man match he had with Kurt Angle on SmackDown, the match at WrestleMania, his match with Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, even AJ.
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero.
Backlash.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, The Rock, the match he had with The Rock when he won his first world title. That was a good match.
SummerSlam. Yep.
Yeah, SummerSlam. But I just, but it's just that when he first came in, I was like, who is this guy? I was like, wow, this guy's big. He's intimidating. He beat The Rock because The Rock is like my favorite wrestler. So when he beat The Rock, I was already pissed. But nonetheless, I still gave him his props because, again, he's a great wrestler. But it's just as far as just like the whole Brock Lesnar guy,
you don't like him.
Before he left, I wasn't sold on him. I was like, something about this guy I don't like. And I trust my instincts. And he got left. He tried to go to the Minnesota Vikings. They dropped him. He went to the UFC. Dana White, played his little politics and got him into the, heavyweight title picture, whatever, right? But he won it. Nonetheless, he won it. So I had to give him his props.
He tapped out his first match.
He did.
Frank Mir tapped him out with an ankle.
Yeah. And then for some reason, Frank Mir just, lost his tactical intuition in the last three matches he had. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to that. He just stood still and just took a bunch of punches to the face from Brock. I don't know what happened that one. But anyway, just to get to the point, my point is just that it's just, again, he comes back and then he pulls this, these shenanigans. He pulls this, BS, not want to wrestle, showing up, every now and then,
But you can't blame him because imagine if your job say, hey, you want to work 5 days a week with 2 days off, or do you want to work once every 2 months
for the same pay? Yeah. He's like sitting on his ranch.
Yeah, he gets to chill,
Yeah. Jermaine.
I'm gonna go with the person that immediately comes to mind. I'm gonna say, I'm sure after the show I'm gonna be like, that's what I should have said. But I'm gonna go Timothy Thatcher.
Oh wow, really? I like that guy.
Oh, see, that's a good pick. I don't know. It's just I can't get with a guy that doesn't wear knee pads. He has the boots.
Oh wow. Yes. Okay.
So I cannot stand it.
There's other guys too who there's some others. Cody Rhodes, right? At one point didn't.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't at one point.
Yeah, you're right.
He does now with his long pants.
Right.
See, now, see if you have pants on the knee pads, we can kind of
talk.
We can guess. But he has the trunks with boots, no knee pads. I'll be like, I mean, and Riddle was there. I was there with Riddle at first, but Riddle grew on me. So.
Yeah.
But
but Riddle doesn't wear the boots. If he wore boots with, I could. Yeah, no, I
exactly.
See, my thing about Thatcher, he looks like a poor man's Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. I think he's got potential, man. Like I like how he's just kind of like not got a gimmick. He's just got ugly teeth.
He's an old man too.
That's it, dude. He reminds me of me.
He's like 38. He's almost 40.
Yeah. What were you saying, Cyhim?
No, I was saying he reminds me of like a poor man's Dean Ambrose cross between a poor man's like Chris Benoit. Like
he's just a poor man then. That's it.
Yeah.
Have you not seen his teeth?
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. All right. Both great answers, man.
Yeah.
The Brock was both of those are really like enticing answers because it's not like the honky tonk man or like like just like you're like chicken shit.
At least the Honky
wrestlers.
Tonk Man was entertaining.
Right? Yeah.
Out. And
Well, he can sing, he can dance, he can make romance. He's the best.
And he can lose to the Ultimate Warrior in like less than 30 seconds too.
Give me anybody. Give me anybody.
Oh, I loved it.
So good.
I love that was a moment in time, sir. I remember that.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. You got another
All
question
right.
for
And
him?
final question. Because this show is all about old school, old Raws and old wrestling and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You are dropped in the new gen in 1990, and you were given a wrestling contract with the Federation. What is your gimmick?
Gimmick?
I love it.
What is the gimmick?
In the new
Fed. Man, what is your new gimmick?
Is this the job? This is the job era, right? This is like the occupation.
This is the I mean, you had Man Mountain Rock. You had you had TL Hopper, you had the Goon, you had the you had the Repo Man.
Yeah, the Repo Man.
Smash.
I remember Repo Man. Horrible.
Yeah.
He looked like the hamburger.
Yeah, he did. You know that was Smash Demolition.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Repo Man.
Barry Darso.
Barry Darso was Repo Man.
Yep.
Yeah. Same guy that was Smash from Demolition.
Wow, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. And then Kane was fake Diesel.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
And Isaac Yankovic, the dentist.
Yeah, Isaac Yankum.
But what's important, Cyhim, is who are you?
Who
Right.
am I?
What is your gimmick?
My gimmick is the cocaine cowboy.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I love it.
You're just gonna be what everybody else was in those days, but didn't admit.
Right.
Hey,
he just does it on air.
You're just gonna be straight
Vince
up.
will love it.
No, I like it. Vince would absolutely be like kind of like a mixture of like
that'd be great.
like Superfly. You would look kind of like Superfly, kind of.
Oh, it would be
Yeah,
so good.
Right, yeah, okay, with the glasses, with the
Yeah.
aviator shades. Yeah.
Yeah, and Vince would have never heard of it, just like he'd never heard of Scarface, and he would have been like, "It's a great idea, pal."
Your finisher has to have something to do with numbing you, like your like numbness from the cocaine.
Instead of the hoe train, you could have the snow train.
The snow train.
Snow train.
And then you know what my finisher would be? It would be Dean Ambrose old finisher. You know when he grabbed you with the, like that front face.
Dirty Deeds.
Yes,
right,
Dirty Deeds.
The original Dirty Deeds, right?
Yes.
Face, because
Yes.
your face. It'll be like.
Oh
yes.
That's a good gimmick.
I love it, dude. That's
a
awesome.
great gimmick, man.
I'd be all about it. I think you should have like guns
Snow
that shoot
train.
shoot cocaine out.
I'll be on the front row then.
cocaine guns would be great. All right, man.
People are going to be like, man, this has really become a cocaine-centric podcast.
It's a hell of a
What's
drug.
going on? It's like one day they're talking about how weed's legal in Virginia, and now they're talking about cocaine. I don't know if I like this podcast.
We're not letting little Timmy listen anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Little Timmy in Australia, our only listener.
Jermaine, I got to tell you, I don't know how you're going to beat the cocaine cowboy, man. What you got?
Yeah, I think the cocaine cowboy kind of topped off.
You got to be like the heroin hero.
Oh God!
No.
Nice guy.
I was going to say that boy. You're a heel then.
Yeah, you're a heel.
Well, I can't. I mean, you know what? There were no superheroes back then, so I think I would be
J-Man ASH.
right.
No.
Mighty Mack Maine.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. Mighty Mack.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So you're gonna go with your actual persona, Mighty Mack, man. What would your finisher be? What is your gimmick? What are you doing?
So is this like my real life? So what I can actually do in real life, or is this like any move I can think of?
Oh no!
Any move you can think of.
I was gonna say, like, this is a future in which
this
you've
is
been
the best
transported back
incarnation
in
of you,
time.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, I can't do a shooting star press, but we're gonna assume for the sake of argument that I can.
But his 2K22 character could.
Right. So
right.
all right. So we're going off that thing. Yeah, I think honestly, I would probably steal or borrow. Like it'll start off as a swanton, and then it'll end into like a what is it? Ricochet 650.
Damn.
That's a lot of maneuvering and edge, man.
Yeah.
That's like
a lot.
that's
of
like
movement.
53 turns in the air.
Right. I think you should change the gimmick to Spider-Man. That's a lot of movement in the air.
J-Mac Spider-Man.
I also like that we were like you could do whatever. And he was like, well, if I could do whatever, I'm gonna do the impossible.
I'm gonna combine. I'm gonna fly through the air and punch my opponent.
Right.
Flash mixed with the Senton bomb and the Phoenix.
Yeah, it's like
and a Canadian destroyer on top.
Wait, which SmackDown versus Raw was that when you got to create your finisher and you don't, and when you're putting it together? Move,
yeah.
Create a move. That's awesome. Well, Kyle, man,
they give
those
so
were...
many moves for one move that he's like characters like moving like a robot because they can't like the PlayStation can't really.
Yeah, he does that glitching thing where it spins too many times.
All right. Well, we got Cyhim as the Cocaine Cowboy, and we got J-Man Spider-Man, J-Mac Spider-Man with the half Senton, half 650. Great answers, guys. It was good getting to know some of these like lesser known questions you might get asked as a wrestling fan, and we definitely appreciate Kyle for coming up with that stuff. That was real fun.
That was good. Good question.
Now, next up, anybody who watches the show knows that before we get started on the episode, we like to always raise a glass. I know that some of us just have water in front of us, but I know that, well, Jermaine, I think, is driving at this point, so he better not be drinking alcohol. But
no. I got a bottle of water here, though.
But I did go ahead and I went ahead and got a little shot glass full of vodka, which I haven't had vodka in forever. So if I start slurring, you know.
I was going to say, that's my drink normally. That's normally what I'm drinking.
Cyhim's got, you said you poured some Chardonnay.
A little Chardonnay.
Absolutely. This is a fancy ass podcast, you know.
Uh-huh.
I want to raise a glass and thank our guest today for coming on. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah, we definitely. I wanted to go with the grape Ciroc, but yeah, I had to make a move. So kind of killed that.
Well, we're gonna have you on again. We're gonna have you on again eventually, and you guys will know.
I was gonna say we'll have to do a watch along or something and have you guys on so we can actually get to some drinking and stuff while we're watching wrestling. That'd be fun as hell.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Right.
You guys probably do the Rumble if you guys up to it.
Oh,
yes. To do the
Rumble is
that's my favorite.
Like that is if they eliminated all but WrestleMania and one other, it would be Royal Rumble for me. I still mark out at the Rumble. It is like I love Rumble matches, man.
Yeah.
That's my personal favorite. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started now with our WrestleMania 8 review. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, cool, man. So this particular WrestleMania starts off with Gorilla Monsoon's voice letting us know that they are in the Hoosier Dome. I thought the Hoosier Dome is a place to have a Mania. I don't know if I just didn't remember how it looked, but looking back at it, I thought it was one of the nicest looking Mania spots ever. I love the white dome on top. I thought it was a real classy looking Mania. Classic looking, early 90s, late 80s arena, man. Like it's something about that kind of color, like the old like it's almost like when you see like I realize like people shouldn't be like romanticizing like consumeristic shit like the old Wendy's yellow shit and all that kind of stuff, but like it is when you're watching something, that nostalgia button of like, oh man, I remember what it was like to sit in an arena like this, and like this was like back. You hit the nail on the head. The Hoosier Dome is like the quintessential
Midwest big ass auditorium Coliseum.
It kind of reminded me of the WrestleMania 3 look. It just looked a little more fresh, you know what I mean? So I thought it was a really cool looking spot. We see Bobby the Brain. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I definitely it definitely brought me back to, my Nintendo days.
Oh, yes.
I thought it was just me.
No.
Flashbacks. I was like, oh man, I just remember playing, WrestleMania on Nintendo, and just like, it just brought me back to like watching. It's like when I seen that WrestleMania, I was just thinking about all the old matches.
Yes.
Everything that dealt with wrestling at that time as a kid, from video games to
flashbacks.
Toys, everything. I was like, yeah, okay.
That's what we're enjoying about this podcast, like the making of it. Is it's really sending us down memory lane in that way of like, I remember having that toy, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I'm glad you input that in there, because it reminds me of that too. And as a matter of fact, I think I'll mention that later as well. In one of the matches, I believe one of the things that one of the wrestlers was wearing is like the thing that he was wearing in one of those WrestleMania Nintendo games, and for that reason, it's like my favorite version of his like costume. But we'll get to that. Okay. Bobby the Brain and Gorilla Monsoon, they're doing commentary, so we know we got like the gods of commentary for this WrestleMania. We cut to Reba McEntire. So this is back in the day. We had a few country western versions. No relation, by the way, to Drew McIntyre. This is Reba McEntire.
I mean, they might be though. They might be. Like, she looks like she could be Scottish.
Yeah, but she's singing the Star Spangled Banner this time, and of course, Brain starts.
Good job.
Oh yeah, no, she was great. It was fun.
Normally, the country people yuck their way through it, but I thought like Reba did a pretty fucking solid job.
But she's Mexican though. She's Reba McEntire, right?
Reba McEntire.
One of many very racist jokes that we will hear tonight out of Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh man, they're
early 90s.
So good.
Early 90s Bobby Heenan had no more like social compass in the early 90s.
It was the 90s.
It was kind of
times were different.
It's crazy. I was like, wow, Reba McEntire. And then he's like calling Tito Chico and like the flying burrito and
man. Dude, Jesse Ventura called him like at one point, and I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Wow. I remember it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Wow. So anyway, for our audience, just know ahead of time, when I told you to watch WrestleMania 8, it was the early 90s. Shit was real.
It was the early 90s, guys.
It was real.
Anything goes, man. It's the 90s.
First match of the night was El Matador Tito Santana versus Shawn Michaels with Sensational Sherry.
Right. Rick Martel, he hated that gimmick.
No, that was Tito Santana.
I'm sorry, Tito Santana.
He did.
I'm thinking about his partner, his old partner. Yes.
Yeah, from the models.
Yeah. He said he hated that gimmick.
We've talked about that in our former podcast, actually. You're absolutely right.
He despised that gimmick. He like even the whole like Matador thing when the whole gimmick's a joke.
You guys remember the vignettes, right?
Yeah, he went and trained at a bullfighting ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed he was a lot smaller though. He wasn't as toned as he was when
back
he was
in the day.
Strike Force.
Yeah.
Well, when they gave him that gimmick, he just gave up. He's like, fuck this.
he's like no more.
Well, the heat is on. The heat is on. We're in the early 90s at this point, so they're doing more substance testing, so you're seeing a lot of wrestlers deflate a little bit,
right?
Okay.
What I liked about this
allegedly
allegedly one of the things that I was reminded of is actually exactly what you mentioned, Cyhim, is we got a little glimpse of what the Rockers versus Strike Force would have looked like, because we got Shawn Michaels versus El Matador. Right. Which I looked up. I was like, did that match ever happen? But I couldn't find anything. So I guess the Rockers versus Strike Force never happened. That I guess they kind of
but unfortunately with this, we got the worst of both worlds. Give me a Marty Jannetty, Rick Martel match any day.
So I'll go over some highlights here. You guys can stop me if it strikes a chord. You remember anything? The highlights that I wrote about were Tito Santana helped Shawn back in the ring by dragging him with a headlock. I thought that was cool, like early in the match. Shawn later sidesteps Tito Santana, sends him sailing over the top rope, trying to get a count out victory over Tito. We get a Shawn super kick, one of the early Shawn super kicks, like solo super kick.
The patented crescent kick.
And also, that was the first, I think, was it the first time Shawn Michaels actually had his debut music, his theme song, Sexy Boy, where the original version was what's the name?
Sherry.
It's Sherry Martel singing.
Sherry Martel. Yeah, she was singing.
Oh, it's Sherry.
Good call out there, man. Yeah, absolutely. So a little later, Tito hits
Shawn's ring gear. He's wearing the classic white,
straight out of the video game, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's the video game look, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So Tito hits his iconic patented flying forearm a little bit later, which I was really happy to see that. I love Tito's flying forearm. Of course, that's when we get the racist remarks. So at this point, Tito goes on a fast-paced flurry of offense for a bit, but the match ended when Tito tried to scoop slam Michaels from the apron. Michaels holds onto the ropes and falls on Santana for the 3 count, right? Yeah. So what I was saying is overall, we get a quick-paced match to kick off Mania. That's kind of been the same theory, it seems like, up until this day. Is anytime a Mania happens, we want to start off with kind of a quick paced match to open the show. You can always count on like a Shawn Michaels and a Tito Santana to kind of deliver that, right?
Got to get their blood pumping. Got to get the crowd on their feet.
Speaking of blood pumping, Kyle, would you like to take a moment to talk about sensational Sherry?
Ah, man, love her. That part where where Shawn does like the throw down now, like he'll throw her down and pose over top of her. That's hot. That's pretty hot, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
He goes down like, "You're my bitch." And then,
yeah, man. Yeah. I'm a bit of a Sherry mark, so I'm like, so yeah, no, love it. I thought, decent match. I'd say, B+.
This is something we touch on anytime Sherry's on screen with Kyle. He is a total Sherry mark, so we have to kind of go over that with him.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's like I think I'm a mark for like a lot of that era was just too brilliant. It's like when you look at it now, like just and like hindsight, like we didn't know how good it was until like time passed. It was, like everybody was just great, like. But she was amazing. She was amazing. Even the way she helped develop his character. Like, it was amazing. Yeah, she was amazing. Sherry was amazing.
Nobody ever has anything bad to say about her either in the wrestling world. Anytime you hear about somebody talking about Sherry,
yeah, I've always heard she's just a class act, good person. Like just, I appreciate like in an industry that there are so many fuckheads. And big personalities and all that kind of shit, like people like fucking asshole Hogan and all these people, like to have people who are actually genuinely good and like care about like the industry and like for a lack of a better term, it's still real to them, so to speak. It's nice to see that shit exist.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So after the Tito versus Shawn match, we get Mean Gene Okerlund. He's introducing Legion of Doom with Paul Ellering. Paul Ellering says he's returned to manage Legion of Doom. Animal at this time calls Jimmy Hart scumbags for turning on his own team, which at first I was like, what are we talking about? But then I remembered it later on. That was the natural disasters, I think, that he was talking about them turning on, if I remember correctly. Am I right?
Yeah.
So at this time, he threatens Money Inc., and they basically run down the whole division. Legion of Doom says they're taking back the tag titles that belong to them. All I can think of at this time, even though they look pretty badass here, returning with their old manager, Paul Ellering, is like 3 months later, they're going to put a ventriloquist dummy named Rocco on Paul Ellering. And you remember that?
Man, that is like Rocco. And the thing was, they were all into it. Like, they were all like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Really?
And it's just like, God, sometimes you're just like, man, just because you're good doesn't mean that you're not an idiot.
Right. I don't know, man. I just don't know how or why they thought that they would benefit being the Road Warriors of the 80s. They almost had like a cult following, right?
Yeah.
And yet somebody can make the decision to put a ventriloquist dummy on the manager of these guys and turn them into basically a comedy act. I don't know. I really liked it when Paul Ellering came back to WWE and did his thing with Akam and Razor.
Yeah. No, I agree. It just.
Oh, that's who that was.
Yeah, Paul Ellering.
I mean, was he responsible for developing the image of Demolition? And
Yep.
Oh, not Demolition. LOD, Legion of Doom.
Yeah. LOD.
Right, and I think that's
Yeah.
what kind of messed them up too. When they went to the main roster and without him, I think that's what kind of messed them up.
Oh, Akam and Razor.
Yeah, when they went up with Drake Maverick.
Yeah,
I'm
which
like,
was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
what?
I don't understand why Paul Ellering wasn't put with him, because Paul Ellering was a great talker. And, as we see here early in his, this wasn't even early in his career, WrestleMania 8, really. This was, after he's come back to them. Anyway, after that, Sean Mooney is interviewing Jake the Snake Roberts before his match with The Undertaker. Shawn Michaels says that there's a rumor that Jake is going to bring a snake out to the ring. But Jake the Snake says Jack Tunney will not allow the snake to come. They go to a video at that point of Jake and Undertaker, which I remember from my childhood. Do you guys remember this?
Yes.
Yeah, this was
the parlor,
the funeral
segment,
parlor. Yeah. This is that classic segment where Jake the Snake closes Taker's hand in the coffin, and you see Undertaker like dragging the whole coffin behind him towards Jake the Snake. That Cyhim for me was like prime childhood memories for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So next up, we get the match: Jake the Snake Roberts versus Undertaker with Paul Bearer.
Okay.
Guys,
so I heard a little history on Jake the Snake. So this was like, so this was I think a little bit after this match. I think Jake wound up he was trying to sign with WCW.
Right. Exactly.
He had a contract prepared for him and everything.
Yep.
And then he was offered some money.
Yep.
And he held Vince up for money for like the following pay-per-view or whatever. Yep. He goes over to WCW. The guy who offered him the contract rips up the contract and then lowballs him in the contract.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep. I actually heard about that as well, which is crazy.
So did he stay with WWE after that, or he went to WCW?
Well, he actually went to WCW, stayed under that contract for a little bit, then went back to WWE, and when he went back to
Stone
WWE,
Cold,
right?
Yep.
Stone Cold.
That's what I remember was the Stone Cold King of the Ring.
That's after he found God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing that.
He was doing the whole redemption of Jake the Snake.
Yeah. That is a fascinating story that he kind of pulled an Ultimate Warrior on Vince before Warrior did.
Yeah, before Warrior did, yeah. But nobody holds Vince up for money. You know how Vince felt about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless you're Brock Lesnar.
As far as this match goes, guys, this is an early Undertaker match. So we get slow lurking Undertaker in this match, right, against Jake the Snake Roberts. This is old school, gray on his boots.
Okay, so
I love the gray on the boot. I think that's good look.
Is this before Undertaker and Hogan's match?
That was that. I
no.
think it's after that because I think so. I'm not 100%. We'll have to go to the internet for that one for sure. But I feel like it's after. But it's still early, and he's only had one other Mania match at this point. Against Jimmy Snuka at 6. at WrestleMania 6.
Okay.
Oh no, was it WrestleMania 7? I'm not sure. One or two other matches, I think.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, this match is pretty standard. The match goes on for a while. You get the whole spot where Undertaker is raised up by the urn, but it really ends after Jake goes after Paul Bearer with the urn. Taker follows him to the outside and delivers a tombstone pile driver on the outside mat. Taker rolls Jake the Snake Robertson for his win. And this is like one of those early, like I said, Mania wins before the streak was even a big deal, right? They weren't even really talking about the streak at this point, I don't think.
As a kid, I liked that match a lot. But watching it back again, I realized how slow and kind of boring it was. It was really just like Jake doing all the work and Undertaker just taking the hits up until the the finishing sequence.
Yeah.
How many years have Taker been in wrestling by now? You would think he learned some moves.
I think
I was literally just looking at the Undertaker's move set because I was like, how many moves does he do? 26. He does 26 moves, including the old school walk the ropes and
He didn't do it this match though. This match he just got punched and punched and punched, and then he hit a tombstone and it was over.
Well, consider who he's wrestling.
And Cyhim, what were you saying? You were about to.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, because when he said 26 moves, when Kyle said 26 moves, I was thinking, was he the original 5 moves of Doom?
Oh yeah.
Was he the originator?
That was Bret Hart.
Oh,
you said Bret Hart was the originator of the 5 moves of Doom?
That was Bret Hart.
No, I thought it's Kevin Nash. I thought that's a Kevin Nash thing, including the hair flip.
That was just a shot at Jeremiah.
Song's just trying to get under my skin, talking shit about Bret Hart right now. That's all. So actually, to that point, Cyhim, I think that it wasn't that maybe, or it wasn't that he wasn't capable of a bunch of moves. Or actually, Song, you were saying, isn't he capable of more moves? I remember a lot of interviews with the Undertaker talking about how he was told to minimize what he was doing. Like this is less is more with this character. Right. So they really at this point in Undertaker's life, he was purposely lurching, purposely methodical. They wanted him to do slow things with quick burst of energy, like his flying clothesline, and then he'd go back to being slow. So I think it was partially as Mean Mark Callis in WCW, he had a much larger moveset than he did as the Undertaker, of course. But I
definitely agree with that, especially with big men. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we would talk about even Goldberg, right? And Goldberg gets a lot of shit. But if you go back and you look at Goldberg's work in WCW, Goldberg had a big moveset. He had a lot of different moves he used to do, but it makes sense for big guys because, again, this is a powerhouse. Like, this guy is not supposed to be hitting you with 30, 50 moves, in order to get you down. Like, he's a powerhouse. The whole point of his moveset is he's powerful. Like,
get it over with quick.
Get you down. Right. Exactly. Right. So
that is a definite great point. So at
this
time,
the psychology that we're talking about.
At this time, I did have a question for you guys. What do you think, top, I won't say 3, but just we can go round robin with everybody who's here. I think that Jermaine, unfortunately, is, I'm not sure if he's on with us or not.
I'm still here.
Okay, good. All right, awesome. And it's so, okay, question. Each one of you guys give me, and you can't repeat each other. So if somebody says it, you have to come up with something different. A Mania match that never happened. Undertaker Mania match that should have happened. It didn't.
Sting.
Yeah. Edge.
I just had to.
Yeah, you had to throw it out there quick.
Edge. Who said Edge?
Edge.
Said Edge.
Undertaker versus
Edge. At one point, they were both undefeated at Mania.
You said Undertaker match that never happened at WrestleMania, right?
Did it happen at Mania? Not at Mania, I don't think.
Yeah, Edge and Undertaker fought at Mania. They fought for the title. Yeah.
Oh shit!
It was considered a classic match.
You're kicked off the podcast, Song.
Oh fuck! Man, I can't remember that shit.
I'm assuming that at that period of time, you wasn't watching because I
Probably
wasn't
not.
watching wrestling at that time. Either.
Okay.
I checked out around that time.
Yeah, I checked out I checked out a couple different times.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
So we got
Fuck.
Sting. We got who else?
I was gonna say the Undertaker, but he did fight himself.
Yes, he did.
At SummerSlam. Are you saying only WrestleMania only, or just
only
only
WrestleMania
a
match.
Only a
Yeah.
WrestleMania?
I
Undertaker.
see Undertaker versus the Demon.
That was going to be mine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Finn Balor. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The Fiend.
I'll say Undertaker versus Malachi Black.
I thought he
That's what
did
they were
fight the
trying?
Fiend, right?
He didn't fight the Fiend at Undertaker.
He's for Bray Wyatt. He didn't fight the Fiend.
Oh, gotcha.
Was it at Mania?
Yeah.
Yeah, was that me?
It was at Mania.
Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
one of the Manias he came back.
Yeah.
It was after he lost to Brock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, all those are good. Did everybody select one except Song
so.
I
with
can't
Edge?
come up with one, man.
Song lost his because he.
I can't come up with one.
All right.
I can't for the life of me can't picture the time he fought Edge though.
Which Mania was that?
I got to go back and watch it. And
We'll figure it out.
That'll be our next reviewed match.
Next up, we get Mean Gene Okerlund again, and he's at this point he's in the back, and he's with Bret the Hitman Hart and IC champ Rowdy Piper. I love this Roddy Piper. I love this interview because it was all about kind of like, you know, they're there together, which is rare because they're two baby faces, right? And at first they're playing good with each other until Roddy Piper starts making jokes about, I love the Hitman. I've known him since he was this tall, except, he's still wearing pants until he's still wearing breeches until he's 7. Except, he's in the corner being ugly.
Did he actually know Bret when he was a kid? Like, was that?
Probably.
Yeah, because he trained at the
dungeon.
At the dungeon, he makes a joke about how what is it? Sue Hart would make the sandwiches and only put one piece of bologna.
Yeah.
One piece of bologna on it.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny interview in that way. And they, finally Bret makes it physical, kind of slaps it. Roddy Piper kind of smacks him and everything. And so it escalates. So basically the vehicle for this whole interview, of course, is trying to build a little bit of heat for a babyface versus babyface match, right?
Right.
So we go out to the ring and we get the Intercontinental title match against
Jeremiah. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's
fine. Question for you.
Yes.
Right? So we do you know Baby, right? Big Baby?
Big Baby. Mm-mm.
No? Okay, all right. Never mind, forget it. Okay, so we had an argument, right?
Okay.
Because this matter of fact, this is for all you guys, Song and Kyle. Now,
all right.
I need you guys' opinion on this, right?
Okay.
We had an argument, right? And the argument was that there has to always be a heel.
Hogan?
His point was he says the guys he's a podcaster, Big Baby, we were arguing. He was like, there has to be a heel. And I was like, there does not always have to be a heel. He said there has to be a heel. So when you mentioned two baby faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Roddy Piper, you got Bret, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says there has to be a heel because if the fans begin to cheer for their favorite or the person who is considered the favorite out of the two, whoever's the least favorite becomes a heel.
Like, it's automatic. No, I agree with Mr. Baby. There has to be, even because the audience is stupid. They need to be told who to root for.
That's right.
And
the professor says the wrestling audience is stupid.
And so, it is if you don't want to become conflicted because I like Bret, but I also like Roddy. Well, that's why you need Roddy to do the eye poke to establish himself as the heel, so that the fans know who to cheer for. Otherwise, they're not going to cheer for anybody.
So I think in this match,
I don't agree. I don't think you always need a heel for a match. I mean, and I don't think wrestling audiences are stupid either. I think they're smart enough to know, like, if it's a face versus face match, they just want a great match out of it. They're not going to need to cheer for anybody. They'll just start screaming, "This is awesome." That's it. You don't need a heel.
Right. So I think I agree with Song. There doesn't have to be a heel. I think that it can definitely be a face and face dynamic. I think what happens is, and what Kyle is talking about is, there's two different things. You can have a face versus face match where everybody's just doing like spectacular matches or being technicians or whatever they do, and they're both faces. Or you can have a match where you have two faces, like in this case, where they're both faces, but one clearly takes on the persona of the heel
until the end of the match
by doing face pokes, eye pokes, gouges, putting their feet on the second rope. Just like I was talking about before we came on air, I was talking about watching the other day ECW 2005, like the
one night stand,
and it was Rob Van Dam and Cena. That's two faces, right? But in this match, Cena. Hold on.
I don't know, Jeremiah.
Not in ECW. Definitely not in ECW. Cena was not the face. But that's my point. Is for that night, Cena healed it the fuck up.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, but there have been matches between people like the 1-2-3 Kid and some other technician from that era who have fought and kept it technical.
Yeah.
Those matches happen too, and it doesn't have to be a heel face dynamic.
Right.
It just depends on what you're looking for. It depends on what they're booking. You can book it.
Yeah, I just had to throw that out there because I just thought that was such an entertaining conversation, like argument. Like I was like, no, there's no like, because I definitely agree with you, Jeremiah and Song. I definitely agree. And I definitely agree, like, because again, you can, the fans are going to choose whoever they want to cheer for. But again, the whole point of the character being heel is just the character they play. Like, so if they go in as a face, they're still a face. Like The Rock and Austin went into matches. I mean, no, that's a bad example because Austin turned heel afterwards. But like Hogan and Warrior, right? Perfect example. They were both faces.
Yep.
Both left faces. Like they never changed characters.
Right.
They both stayed consistent to their characters. So it's like, the fans were just in favor of Ultimate Warrior as far as him going over.
Right. I agree with you totally on that. That was an example of them not changing character. Now it would be, people would argue with you that those were two heels in the ring.
Right.
But having said that, no, that was a great question. Great question. How do you feel about that? You just came back on the line, Jermaine. What is your opinion? Does there have to be a heel and face, or?
Well, honestly, I don't think so, because at the end of the day, the fans are gonna they're gonna cheer for the heel that they want to win anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can always book heel versus heel. I mean, it makes for good TV, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It changes things up.
I agree with that, but heel versus heel can exist. I'm just saying, and face versus face can exist as well. But one of the faces will automatically take on the heel persona.
Yeah. Right. Which happened the first time Roman and Cena, for Roman became, I guess, the heel maybe in that match.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were both faces at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they left the match still faces though. So
right.
Yeah. So this match is similar in that way. Are you talking about this match now? Or are you talking about still Ultimate Warrior versus Hogan?
Oh no, he was talking about Roman and Cena back in.
Damn, I clocked out completely. But anyway, yeah. I mean, this match is similar in that way, right? Even though Brett came in face, Piper came in face. Piper assumed that heel role. And it was a great match, right? A lot of cool shit happened in this match. We definitely saw some color, saw some blood in this match, right? We saw blood flow. I actually looked up about this match. According to 411 Mania, Bret Hart in an interview stated that Roddy Piper suggested the match would be better if there was a little bit of blood. Of course, there was a no blood policy in WWE at that time. And he kind of, in the interview, I thought what was crazy is Bret was talking about how they would keep this blade tucked in their lip, like during the whole match. And I'm just like, what if you swallow that thing, dude? These guys are crazy. And he's just like, it would stay there, man. That's hardcore, dude. I wouldn't keep a razor blade in my mouth for
I always heard it was
minutes.
the ref that handed you the blade.
I've heard that they wrap it in tape around their wrist, but Brett was saying he keeps it tucked like it's
I wouldn't do that at all.
Like a little
piece of dip.
Yeah, that's like a jailhouse thing. That's
freaking hardcore, dude.
Did you guys ever see Above the Rim with Tupac?
Yeah.
There was a scene in there where he had a blade in his mouth.
That's right.
And he spit it out. But that's the actual thing. Like in New York, like guys walk around and they learn how to keep blades tucked in their mouth. They'll keep beside their gums.
Oh my God.
And
I knew remind me not to start anything in New York when I'm up there.
I don't think so. Do it now, maybe. I hope not, but you
never know.
I knew a guy who did it when I was like a teen. He this guy named, I'm not gonna say his name, but he had this.
Damn, that's awesome.
It was like, you keep a blade in your mouth. He was like, I got a blade
at all times. He's like, I'm ready to go.
Right, all times.
But we talked about the heel and face dynamic, and this match played with that heel and face dynamic, especially Piper. He it came to the point where he grabbed a bell from the ringside and he had to kind of do like an internal struggle with himself, right? To keep from hitting Bret Hart when he's already cut open. And he didn't. And that really kind of ended up costing him the match. He drops the bell outside the ring. He puts a sleeper hold on Bret, and that sleeper hold, the technician that Bret is, walks up those ropes and lets that momentum carry him right over for the 3 count in the win. Right. And just a great ending to a great match, probably one of the best matches of the night. Because if in my opinion, at least,
that was it's only going downhill from here.
That was the same. No. Yeah, that was the same way he beat Stone Cold in their second match.
That's a good call out too, man.
When Austin put him in the $1 Million Dream.
Oh, that's cool.
And Brett caught him with the off the corner turn.
Here, Brett, we're gonna do the old Austin finish.
Yeah. do they do that?
Probably talk to each other and be like, let's use this finish. Probably so. I would imagine they do. I'd be like, that Jericho finish, we're gonna do that finish. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I would think that, at least in my head, that's how it happens. Great match. Some of the classics got fought over the Intercontinental title, and this is definitely one of them. Next up, Bobby Heenan says he's got a surprise for us, and we get a reminder of that low point in WWF history that happened during our childhood of the World Bodybuilding Federation.
This is the most homoerotic segment we have seen thus far. This is boy toys. This is man meat. That's a lot of beef.
But we saw remember we also saw the introduction of Luger at the Royal Rumble where Heenan was like,
give it to me, Lex. Don't tease me.
He was just like slobbering all over Lex Luger.
Yeah. So
who amongst us doesn't want to slobber over sexy Lexi?
Hey, I don't judge.
I mean, some of that stuff he was wearing was like a halter top on him, man. He's got such big titties.
Oh man.
So Luger heels it up. He's bragging on Bobby Heenan and calling Gorilla a fat guy. He's showing his narcissistic ways. He's saying he's got the best body out there. He's naming a bunch of bodybuilders that I've never heard of.
Sounds like he's trying to pick him up, huh?
Yeah. And then he says,
trying to take him home.
Yeah, exactly. He then says he's only been off the Snickers bars for a few days. He takes off his top to show off his physique, and he drinks some milk, which is extremely homoerotic.
Didn't he drink the milk in like one shot, like the whole glass?
Man, he downs it.
He's a professional.
Downs it.
He's a pro. Right. Next up, we get an interview in the. That's all I have to say about Lex, unless anybody has to add anything else about Lex.
Nope.
Y'all good?
We can move on.
Honestly, we could probably skip the entire Nasty Boys match, in my opinion, just because they're garbage. And they're garbage people.
Yeah, that's
Brian Knox, get at me. Knobs. I don't have to
say his name
right. Say his name right correctly. Fuck him. I'll fight
hilarious.
you, old man.
That's another thing that's a trope on this podcast, by the way, guys, is basically anytime we mention the Nasty Boys or they show up on Raw, Kyle has a Nasty Boys rant.
Garbage wrestlers.
So we get booed out of didn't he get kicked out of like most of the promotions? Like nobody wanted to work with him or something like that.
They were Hogan's friends.
Hogan's pals, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure they were difficult to deal with.
Oh, wow.
They're like still his buddies for all I know. Yeah, like I think that they're pretty much, which is just hilarious. It's like you see Hogan and then the Nasty Boys. Who would have thought those would be like the new Four Horsemen? Anyway, except that's three. So we're in the back. We get the Mountie and the Nasty Boys. They're cutting a promo. Repo Man lurks out at one point. They're screaming at the top of their lungs. We get a response promo as well from Sergeant Slaughter, Mr. Meat Sauce Madness, Virgil himself. Listen. On a previous podcast of ours, we talked about this. If you get out your phone right now and go to the Google Play Store, there's a game called Meat Sauce Madness created by Virgil. and dude, the reviews are great and the reviews are hilarious.
Oh my god, meat
sauce madness.
Yes. Oh man.
But yeah, we get the promo from Sergeant Slaughter, Virgil. He's actually wearing a protective mask that reminded me of Sheamus's protective mask.
He's got to protect the moneymaker, baby.
Yeah, he's got the white version of the Sheamus mask.
Or the Brutus the Barber.
Yep. Big Boss Man and Hacksaw are also in the back. Are you seeing this, dude?
So in this Meat Sauce Madness game, is that Virgil? Or are you playing with Virgil?
It's Virgil.
Yeah, but I think they call him Soul Train Jones, which is his like non-WWE name, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he has a 5.0, like the highest rating you can get.
Isn't that ridiculous? You know, it's just Virgil getting on there and giving himself 5 stars. And just read one of the reviews. It's fucking brilliant.
Wow.
It's great. So we go to the ring and we see Ray Combs from the Family Feud. He's out there and he's about to introduce this big 8-man tag match. He pisses off the heels by insulting them. He says a few funny things. He's like insinuating that the Mountie can't read. He's insinuating that the Repo Man is ugly. The heels try to go after Ray Combs, but he manages to escape, and all the faces attack the heels. And this thing is, like Kyle said, we could probably skip it, but we get our 8-man tag: Virgil, Hacksaw, Boss Man, and Sergeant Slaughter versus Repo Man, Nasty Boys, and the Mountie. A chaotic match. I won't say that there are anything like highlights, but at the end of this match, basically Virgil ducks. Knobs gets hit with a loaded hand of his partner, and Virgil pins Knobs for the win. Guys, what'd you think of this fantastic match?
Filler. It was all a filler.
Yeah, definitely agree.
It's disappointing to see the Mountie and don't have the shock stick with them, though. I was hoping he shocked somebody.
Oh, he didn't have it.
It's upsetting to see Hacksaw in such a garbage match. Such a fine performer, such as Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Are you being serious or funny? Because he's probably one of my least favorite wrestlers.
Yeah. I was a big fan of his as a kid.
Really?
That's because you a kid, you don't really know.
You don't know better.
Yeah. He's just like to run around screaming "ho."
Well, you are the cocaine cowboy, and he was found with a Sheik. Him and the Sheiky baby used to get down in the car.
Yeah.
So you'd have probably been riding with the right. You ought to have been cutting out lines on the 2x4.
All right.
Too funny. So next up,
I was definitely a big fan of Hacksaw, but it was like here's this guy, he's coming out with a 2x4, he's friendly, he's a nice
cross-eyed
guy. Why not cheer for him? Why not cheer for this guy who's throwing his thumbs up and has a 2x4? Why not?
I get it. Like, I probably liked him more than I want to admit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But
Did you like him as a kid? You can admit, you can open up, Jeremiah.
I feel like I knew he was a goof then.
Yeah.
It's like the cross-eyed thing and the sticking your tongue out the side was too bushwhacker-esque to me.
Yeah.
Yes. it kind of borderline on that. So while I would root for him at times, like against Andre when he'd be getting beat up by Andre, I knew he was goofy. I knew he was a goofy dude. So, but yeah, next up after the 8-man match, we get Sean Mooney, and he's back with one of the best of all time, two of the best of all time, Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect, he's holding a poster, and he says that it's Miss Elizabeth. I remember this angle from back in the days. Basically,
I do too.
This was hilarious to me because people were just like, I mean, it was like a big thing just to show Elizabeth, in her bathing suit. Like that was the whole thing. The picture was to show Elizabeth. We never got to see it. We never got to see it. We never got to see it, but we know Macho Man was like pissed about that.
Right.
That's as he was. Elizabeth.
And the story going back was that Ric Flair was claiming that he had compromising photos of Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And because Ric Flair's Ric Flair and he's got all the ladies, and Miss Elizabeth was no exception. And he kept saying, like, I'm going to reveal this centerfold. I've got these scandalous pictures of me with Elizabeth. And of course, it ended up being
she was hypnotized by the helicopter. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
With the helicopter.
Yeah.
Oh, slick Rick.
The angle ends up concluding, I think, with them finding out that the photos were doctored or whatever the case may be, man. So yeah. So Mr. Perfect insinuates did you guys catch it when Mr. Perfect insinuated that he wanted to ride Space Mountain with Rick and Elizabeth?
Yes, I did. It's like, whoa, wait, like
this is one of those things
for the ladies, Mr. Perfect.
Talk about one of those things that you never would have caught when you were a kid. Yeah, and you're like definitely caught it on the second go around. But then after that we go to Mean Gene Okerlund, and he's in Macho Man's dressing room door. He's at Macho's dressing room door. Mean Gene says Randy Savage is keeping to himself, and that potentially he's worried about the centerfold getting posted in the Hoosier Dome. So after that little backstage section to kind of get us ready for the match, we get the world title match for the WWF Championship. One part of our double main event, Ric Flair versus Randy Savage for the WWF title.
Double main event. So,
double main event. Exactly.
Double. Okay.
Yeah. So and this one happened like midway through the card.
Yeah.
So this is the guy that I was talking about. Wasn't this Macho Man's ring gear, the black and the gold, the one that was in like Wrestlemania, the video game? If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so I feel like I remember that being that ring gear. It's probably like my favorite Macho Man ring gear of all time, that black and gold, man. Aside from his original like Star Trunks, like those.
Yeah.
The purple. The purple. Yeah.
There are really
pink tights, white stars.
Those are great too. That's the Ultimate Warrior, against the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
those were really good too. I would say that this match had so many highlights, it's gonna be hard to kind of go over all of them. But the match went on probably around 20 minutes at least. Towards the end of the match, Flair slaps Savage while he's in the figure 4 leg lock. Savage finally reverses the figure 4 to get out of it, but the match ends where Flair has Savage's leg in a standing position. Savage reverses this into a quick roll up with a handful of tights for the win. So here we get a heel win by a face. Talking about our heel face dynamics, right? After this match as well, we get Ric Flair yelling at Miss Elizabeth, and then Ric Flair lays a kiss on Liz without her permission, which is not good for Ric Flair these days. I want to go back to this. So if anyone says there's no proof of Ric Flair forcing himself on a lady, how about WrestleMania 8?
100%. You got it right there. WrestleMania 8.
How about WrestleMania 8? It happened inside the ring.
Great.
What'd you guys think of this match? Did this take you back at all?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was, it's funny enough. I like Macho Man, but I wasn't a big fan of Macho Man. But it was good though. It was a good match.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Macho Man was always like that big name, but I really didn't see what other people saw in him outside of the Slim Jim commercial. Yeah. But I enjoyed this match a lot.
Good
it should have gone on last.
Yeah, a good match with lazy Flair. Flair is lazy. He, I don't care how. Listen, I don't care how early that guy used to get up after party and run on the treadmill. There's a story where Brett talks about how he said Flair's one of the hardest workers. He was like, Flair would go out and party, and he would wake up early in the morning. Brett, he said he would wake up early in the morning and be at the gym like around 5 a.m. And he said Flair would beat him to the gym and be on the treadmill. Wow. So he was like, he was a hard worker. I was like, yeah, he always showed up, but he's a lazy wrestler. He give you the chest chops, and
a couple woos
here, a couple woos. He give you
a strut,
Irish rip.
He's one of those guys that's always kind of lived off his reputation in the ring, I think. So when we hear his name, we just associate with greatness, but a lot of it's just like, his, the persona that he put out for himself, and we kind of all just buy into it.
Yeah.
As you watch his match, you do see some of the laziness, but he does sell for his opponent, though. When you whip him, he's like flips all over the place.
Oh, his turnbuckle thing. That's like his one big move. He hits that corner turnbuckle thing, and then the whole like falling on your face is almost comedic.
Yeah.
Like the whole falling.
Yeah.
After the match, speaking of Flair, we get Sean Mooney again. He's with Perfect and Flair after the match, right? And of course, you get Prime Flair, right? Ric Flair, pissed off Ric Flair. Mr. Perfect's claiming injustice because of the handful of tights. Bobby Heenan comes in, which, oh, God love him. He starts talking about Savage pulling Flair's tights as well. Bobby Heenan can barely breathe. He's he does his job so well. Flair's got a bloody face. He gives a great promo about Savage claiming to be champion, claiming the love of the Jezebel Elizabeth. Ric Flair says beating him one time means nothing, though. He says he wants another match. He doubles down on the sexual assault by saying he's going to kiss Elizabeth's moist, wet lips again.
Oh my God.
And the shit you get away with back in the 90s.
I know, man. When Ric Flair was talking about Elizabeth's moist lips, I kind of half expected John Morrison to pop out and be like, "Did somebody say moist?" So he hit Flair with a drip stick. So after that, Mean Gene's in the back. He's interviewing the new champ, Macho Man Randy Savage. Savage accepts Flair's challenge, hands Elizabeth the belt, and he rips off his shirt for the camera. After this, we go up to footage of what led to Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice. I remember this from being a kid, too. We get the WrestleMania 8 press conference. Undertaker, Roddy Piper, Mean Gene Okerlund, Hulk Hogan, Savage, and Sid Justice are all there with Jack Tunney. Tunney names the number one contender for the world title as Hulk Hogan. Sid Justice was interviewed after the press conference and said that what Tunney did was bogus, and he basically turns into a heel right then and there. They kick us to footage then 1 week later of Saturday night's main event, where Justice teamed with Hulk Hogan against Undertaker and Ric Flair. Now, Sid Justice leaves Hogan out to dry during the tag match, completing his heel turn. Fortunately, Barber was in the corner of Hulk Hogan and Justice during the match, and he tried to talk some sense into Sid, but it did not work. Lastly, they go to footage of the barber shop. This is when Sid Justice was Brutus the Barber Beefcake's guest. Sid ripped apart the barber shop and he got shaving cream all over himself during this whole event as well. I think after that, they did show some highlights of Sid Justice beating a bunch of jobbers as well as Virgil himself. And I forgot about this, but Sid went through that period of time where he was putting everybody on stretchers, but then he was like capsizing the stretcher afterwards. So I remember that whole thing.
Wait, so there was like a moment where like, okay, so that I didn't know about. So Wait, Sid Justice used to put like he used to beat people up and put them like after he beat the opponent, they want to stretch it. That was just like his thing.
Yeah, there was like a period of time going on where he was facing mostly jobbers. After the match, they would almost always have to bring a stretcher to the ring, and then the officials would get him loaded onto the stretcher.
Yeah,
and then once the officials are moving him to the back, Sid would be go grab him and just like push him, like throw them into the ring like he did in this clip. Right. So yeah, it was like his gimmick for a minute there, like I guess showing that he was Psycho Sid or whatever the case may be. All right, next up we see the Lumbee Native Americans in the ring, and we cut to the back with Sean Mooney interviewing the model Rick Martel. Yeah, we were talking about Rick Martel earlier.
Oh my God, Rick Martel, the arrogance. He used to come out with that.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see Jeremiah dressed just like Martel. I think you can pull that off
with the sweater and everything.
Yeah. Are we talking about Halloween or are we talking about every day? Are we doing
every day? He'll just have a bow tie with no shirt.
I'm gonna try that out. I want pink little trunks and everything.
Yeah. He had a cummerbund on also, but no inside shirt at all.
Oh, don't get hit in the eye with that arrogance, though. Ask Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
It'll blind you.
You remember that whole gimmick, right?
Dude, Martel is like really like he must love this gimmick or something. He's really like
in the land of the blind, the snake is king.
He's hamming it up, dude. He's just hamming it up with the fake accent and everything.
Well, I mean that's part of
his
French, accent, isn't he? He's French Canadian.
Is he really?
So so that's like he just talks funny because of his accent.
But I think he does know how to like accentuate it. He knows that that's a part of his heel character.
Yeah.
So he's really hamming it up for the camera. And of course, we get Martel making a slightly off racist joke here as well about Tatanka being late because he's out scalping tickets. So again, 90s.
Oh God.
Just the racism.
Just the ridiculous call outs consistently through this whole Mania. Yeah. And it doesn't get better for Mania 9 either, folks. We already reviewed it. So,
oh my God.
Next up, we get the match. We get the model Rick Martel versus Tatanka. Yeah. This is of course still in the era.
We're still in
the streak. The craziest thing? I heard that he had like you said still in the streak, right?
Yeah, he has an undefeated streak.
Yeah. Like how long did it last?
It was out there. It was like 100 and something. It was like quite some time. I don't know. We'd have to. Let's have the professor confirm as we go along here, but it was quite a long. It was Goldberg-esque.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I heard about it. Yeah, it was like Tatanka had like one of the biggest, undefeated streaks.
It was like him, Perfect, and
nearly 2 years.
Yeah,
wow,
Mr. Perfect, Tatanka, and Terry, Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich, all had a bit of a streak when they came in.
From February 91 to October of 93.
Wow.
Yeah. So the coolest part of this match for me personally was I forgot about these tights. I forgot about, because he ended up being in the blue tights with the loincloth. But before that, he was in these tights. I totally forgot about these trunks. During this match, of course, Bobby Heenan comes back to the broadcasting booth. And he's beside himself still because of the world title match. But as far as this match goes, Rick Martel controls most of the match. He's a veteran through and through during this match. You can tell he's kind of carrying Tatanka. I know Tatanka's been in the ring for a bit, but Martel's definitely like the veteran of this match. But the match ended kind of very weirdly for me. Like what was it? Just like a cross body?
Yeah, it almost like was unexpected too, because like the Tatanka face kind of looked like he was surprised it was over.
Right, exactly. To me, this was definitely like the stinker of the night, dude.
It had to be a botch or something.
Yeah, either that or they got news from like the referee that like the match had to go home because they wanted more time for the main event or something. But it was like ridiculous. It was like a simple cross body block, and Rick Martel wasn't even like beat up.
No,
it was just like a normal cross body block win. So
yeah,
after that, Sean Mooney is in the back. He's with Money Incorporated. They cut a promo on the natural disasters. Then they actually go to the natural disasters. Typhoon says that they have a surprise for Jimmy Hart, who recently turned on them in Money Incorporated. And then we get the WWF Tag Team Championship match, Money Incorporated with Jimmy Hart versus the Natural Disasters. I love the Natural Disasters, man. For a big team, these guys like John Tenta, Earthquake especially, that dude could move. Legit sumo wrestler, you know?
I love John Tenta, dude. He's amazing.
Yeah, I remember just being so pissed at Earthquake for sitting on Hogan's chest.
Oh, Hogan's chest. Yeah.
Hogan's chest when I was mad. Oh, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, this big fat, get the fuck out of here.
We thought he was going to kill Hogan. Yeah.
Yeah. I was pissed. I was very pissed. I was pissed at Earthquake for a while.
Earthquake was a good heel back in the day.
He
was a really good heel. That run against Hogan was awesome. And then the run he had as well. I thought you were about to say you were pissed when he sat on Jake Snake, because he did that too. He killed one of Jake Snake's, remember?
Wait, he said
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, okay, I remember.
Wait, no, we're not talking about it in that weird way.
Wait, okay, all right.
What are you thinking I'm talking about?
No. I know what you're talking about, but not that. Nah. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. No. Because as you mention it, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, memory recalls. Like he sat on the snake, right?
Yeah, it was in the bag.
Yeah, in the
so
bag.
it probably wasn't real, hopefully,
right.
But it was like one of, I think, Earthquake's feuds either before Hogan or after Hogan.
Okay.
I can't remember which one it was at this time, but yeah, he brought Jake Snake out in the middle of the ring. It's still in the green bag. And then he did the whole Earthquake stomp around it, and then he jumped on it and killed it. And Jake was all tore up for the longest, and that was like the impetus of their feud. Yes. So yeah, Earthquake was a good heel for a minute before he settled into the tag division with the Natural Disasters. And Uncle who was it? Typhoon. Who was Typhoon?
Typhoon. Yeah, Typhoon. Yep.
Yeah, Typhoon was uncle of, like, wasn't he related like Dusty Rhodes, Kyle? Like Dusty's family in some way?
Typhoon.
Yeah, he's I think an in-law or something.
He's an
Is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so.
He's Cody's by law uncle, or I don't know what you call it. But he was Shockmaster.
Oh God.
Shockmaster.
That's gonna live in infamy, man. Earthquake starts this match off with IRS Irwin R. Shyster, but IRS tags in DiBiase before doing anything. The Natural Disasters get the early advantage by overpowering Money Incorporated when Earthquake hits a series of clotheslines on Money Incorporated. I do want to point out the Disasters move so well for their size, man. I love they can move, man. I already mentioned it, but at one point, Typhoon's momentum sends him out of the ring, and IRS nails Typhoon's head on the steps. This allows Money Incorporated to gain the advantage for a little bit. But eventually, the Natural Disasters get the advantage, and Earthquake goes for his finisher on IRS. But that Weasley little guy, Jimmy Hart, he pulls him from the ring and purposely gets counted out, giving the Natural Disasters a non-title win. So, unfortunately, we don't get the Disasters getting their title back. They get the
all that work for nothing.
Yeah, all that work for nothing. So, yeah, I mean, decent tag team title match, I think. I know that Song, you still waiting for your Steiner Brothers and Money Inc. match?
Yes, never gonna happen, but it's a good hope.
Next up, we get Mean Gene. He's with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Mean Gene reminds us of Brutus the Barber's career, about the boating accident. And Brutus says he's going to be rooting for Hulk Hogan during this match with everyone else because he's the number one Hulkamaniac of the world. You know,
and he is.
Yeah, he probably actually literally is. Yeah. Next up, we get another kind of throw in their match. I didn't even remember this being a part of WrestleMania 8, but we get, but I'm happy with it because we get to see Owen Hart, the Rocket. Granted, it's like I said, it's Rocket iteration of Owen Hart. So we get to see some really lame pants on the Rocket.
I like
man.
those pants, man.
You like those, dude? Will you
I
wear
like those
something
pants.
like that?
I love.
I would wear them. Yeah, I would rock that.
You dug the high energy pants too, Kyle?
I love high energy. I think the theme, the boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Yeah, that theme is sick, dude. It has got It is a Jimmy Hart classic, I assume. It is fucking fire. So yeah, I love this look. Two thumbs up.
This match didn't last too long. Skinner spits tobacco in Owen's face to get an early advantage. He hits Owen with a neck breaker, but Owen kicks out with a 2 count. Shortly thereafter, Owen gets the roll-up win. We get a lot of roll-up wins in this Mania.
Why was this so late on the card?
This is the error of the roll-up.
Well, that's a running joke that we have on our Wrestling Talks and Thoughts is the most devastating move in sports.
The roll-up.
The roll-up pin. The most devastating.
Gets him all the time.
Yeah, we spoke about it. We was like, because I seen an interview with Shelton Benjamin, and they asked Shelton Benjamin, they said, what do you think is the most undefeated move in sports and in wrestling that you've ever encountered? No, he said a finishing move that everybody has been beat by. That's the question. The guy asked him, he said, what is a finishing move that everyone has been beaten by? And Shelton Benjamin said, the schoolboy pin, the roller pin. Yeah. And I was like, oh, right. I said it's the most devastating move. And
he beat Triple H with that move, remember?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right. He did. Yeah. He did. Roller pin. Everybody has, people have lost world titles to a roller pin. Yeah. People have lost, all types of matches to a roller pin. Yeah. It's crazy.
We're almost we are almost at our main event, guys. We get one more interview in the back with Sid Justice. We get Mean Gene. He's with Sid and he's with Harvey. We get our typical horrible interview with Sid Justice.
Man, screamy Sid.
Yeah, Sid's promising.
I just can't deal. I'm gonna say this, and you guys can disagree with me, but like, I think this WrestleMania just made it clear that Sid was not the fucking guy, man. He is just not the fucking guy at all. And neither is Harvey Whippleman. Talk about a third-rate Jimmy Hart. Jesus Christ.
Right. I wanted Sid to be the man, though. I liked Sid.
He had the look.
You had a great look. You still are a fan? Are you like a fan?
I still like Sid. I didn't like Sid Justice. I thought that was a lame name. They should have brought him in as Sid Vicious. Yeah. I like Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan. He's hilarious. His interviews are hilarious, and no one will ever forget. Like Jermaine was saying, the only thing that J-Main can remember about him is the fucking leg coming off the top rope at WCW. When he's holding his leg and it's flopping around in his hand. So I mean, there's a lot of.
Or you're not as half as smart as you think I am, or whatever. He's just a fucking dum-dum,
right?
But he loves softball.
And he did the whole Mean Gene, can we start this promo over? And Gene's like, no, buddy, we're live.
We're live. He said, well, when he made that comment, he said it with such conviction.
I know. It was
honestly that live bit. I actually felt for him. I was like, oh shit, man, I've been there. And when you're in that moment, you're like, can we start over? And it's like, no.
That's as much conviction as I had when I said Ed should wrestle the Undertaker in Mania.
That'd be a good match. A match we've all been asking for.
And of course, we get Hogan after the Justice interview. Hogan is sitting down with Vince himself. Hogan's father, and not really, but he's sitting there with Vince, and Vince is basically interviewing him, saying, Hogan, is it true? Is this going to be your last match? Hogan's like, I'm just not going to know until that bell rings. But, he's basically saying, this is a 90s Hogan. This is non-steroid Hogan. This is family Hogan. Yeah. This is professional life Hogan. Yeah. But, Vince is thanking Hogan for the memories. He's thanking him for inspiration and for Hulkamania. But yeah, they go back to Sid one more time, and Sid's like, I'll be the one to end Hulkamania. He curses Hogan, which is a little what do they call it? In the movies, foreshadowing. That's the word I'm looking for.
What did he say? I don't remember what he said.
He says, they go back to Sid, who screams, he'll be the one to end Hulkamania, and he curses Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania. So
on a side note, I do feel like people should bring back I curse you more often. Like I feel like that shit is would hold more weight if people were like, I curse you.
I don't know. That's a little cruel. It's a little cruel to me. It's cursing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if you're like
Chris-
really going at somebody and like
Yeah.
you want them to know you mean business, curse the
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I'm
Yeah,
a little
you're like-
that
stuff. Hey, not
I don't
like-
want to get cursed.
to joke around, like you're joking, but I literally remember a time when I was a kid and I prank called some psychic hotline, and this lady wigged me the fuck out. She was like, that's okay. I send a curse on you and your family. She's like, I started talking in tongues to me and stuff, and I was like, click. I was like,
oh wow.
and,
oh, yeah.
and I've never gotten out of crushing debt. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But
that's not the curse, man. That's just capitalism.
curse we're all living in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so it's time for our main event now. We get Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice with Harvey Whippleman, the last match of the night. Somehow there's no strap involved, but there's a Hogan involved, so should be the main
Ain't
event.
no goddamn sense, man.
Right.
It's Hulkamania, brothers. It's Hulkamania.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Harvey Whippleman is introduced by the Fink. Harvey says he's going to introduce Sid Justice. Then, of course, we get Hogan. Yeah, I mean, Justice, he attacks Hogan before Hogan's music even really hits. Hogan quickly gets the advantage. He sends Sid Justice out to the floor within the first 3 minutes of the match. He's got Sid Justice reeling.
What's
Hogan,
the matter, Sid? You forgot your scissors?
Yeah, I mean, basically, he had to throw Sid out so he could have time to rip his shirt and get his Hulk Hogan shit in. First things first, after the match starts, we get a test of strength. Justice is coming out on top at first with his test of strength. He's got Hogan down on his knees, but of course, we get the Hogan Hulk up. He begins to stand back up. Sid Vicious backs Hogan into a corner and he hits him in the guts with some knees. Later on, another highlight was we get a one-handed choke slam from Sid Justice. I thought that looked really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Match goes on. I feel like there was 10 minutes worth of resting holds, but we
the whole match was
so
only
many
like
rest
12
holds.
minutes.
Right.
They're all huffing the entire time. They're huffing and puffing, man.
Yeah, definitely so. So this match kind of what did you say, Cyhim?
No, I said Hogan always huffing and puffing,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
The only person worse than him is the Ultimate Warrior, and that's because he runs to the fucking ring. But
he's already blown out before he gets there.
So towards the end of this match, we get a Sid Vicious. He calls for the power bomb. Sid actually hits it, and Hogan twitches in pain, but Hogan kicks out still at 2. It's at that point we get the big Hulk out moment. Hogan hits the boot and a body slam followed by a leg drop. Surprisingly, Sid Vicious kicks out of a Hogan leg drop at 2, which is a rarity, right?
Yeah.
Which I actually found
because Sid was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the guy.
No, I actually found out later that the reason for this, I did some reading on this, and Sid kicked out because Papa Shango was late coming out.
Oh,
yeah. So he had to kick out. Papa Shango was supposed to.
Oh, and that's right, because Hogan got furious,
and that's why the whole foreshadowing of the curse, Cyhim, was Papa Shango coming out to curse Hogan. So Sid was saying, "I lay that curse on you." That's what I was talking about. It's a little bit of foreshadowing. So
why was he late? Did they say?
No, I didn't. They didn't really say why he was just late coming out. Probably
because Wright was too busy smoking.
He's back in the hoe.
He's back
in the back with the hoe train.
The hoe train.
He's playing dominoes with the rest of the Blood Street crew or whatever they're called.
So you say this whole train showed up late? Is that what happened?
Yep. Hey, what's up? Jermaine's been falling out, guys. For our listeners, our pal J Man has been falling out, in and out for a little while on the podcast because he's mobile at the moment, but he's with us here at the moment. And J Main, we were just talking about the Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice main event. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow. I mean, anytime you put Hogan and Sid into a match, I mean, let alone main event, I mean, you pretty much can't have high expectations for it. And I guess it exceeded those
Yeah, I mean, we get a big ending where the ref is calling for the bell while Harvey Whippleman's trying to get into the ring. So I'm not really even sure. It's like by disqualification standards. I mean, was this even worth a disqualification happening when Harvey got in the ring?
No.
I
You
mean,
know,
But like you said, all kinds of
is-
stuff went wrong with
It
this.
wasn't interference. I mean, it was an interference.
he said,
I feel with wrestling as a whole, like I guess they flip flop. What's the disqualification? What's not?
oh yeah,
I've seen some questionable disqualifications. Like, wait, what?
this was definitely one of them. I mean, I get your point, Cyhim. It was interference, and I guess technically during that day it was that. But like, what is Harvey Whippleman going to do? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, this match ends. Papa Shango comes out. Well, I guess, now that we're thinking about this logically, the disqualification probably would have come by Papa Shango.
Correct.
So that's probably what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And Whippleman
and I think he did mention that on a podcast or something. I think he missed his cue or something.
Yep, that's exactly what we were just talking about.
Okay.
Was that I had read up on that online that Papa Shango had indeed Jermaine missed his cue, and so that's why Sid had to kick out of that Hogan leg drop, which is so rare.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so yeah, so Papa Shango comes out to the ring. So Hogan's getting attacked by Sid, by Whippleman, by Papa Shango. And then, speaking of which, we were talking about somebody that blows up before he even gets to the ring. We get Mania 8 closing out with the Ultimate Warrior's return. A much smaller Ultimate Warrior than what we're used to seeing coming back. But, at this time, I remember I was still holding on to that Ultimate Warrior fanship. I was still an Ultimate Warrior, Mark. How about you guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, kids can't notice that he's deflated.
Yeah.
That he doesn't look as big.
I remember the rumors there. They were saying
A different warrior.
there was a different warrior. Yeah, there was a
I
fake
remember
warrior.
that too.
Yeah, my brother was a big Warrior fan. I was a Hogan fan.
Yeah.
So when Ultimate Warrior returned, my brother tuned in. He was like, "That's not the Ultimate Warrior. It's just a fake." And he literally he believed it. He went with it, but sure enough, it was the original. It was really him. But
Still
my
Jim
brother
Hellwig.
just didn't believe it. Yeah, he just didn't look the same. It wasn't as big as he was.
Nope.
Yeah.
Had shorter hair. I remember he came back with almost a bob cut.
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, so we end WrestleMania 8 with Hogan, with Warrior, with fireworks posing in the Hoosier Dome. So we think that, coming out of Mania, we're gonna get all this crazy cool stuff with the Ultimate Warrior going on. But we know that the Warrior thing didn't really amount to much in the end. So
Warrior didn't amount to much. Sid didn't amount to much. I mean, a little bit, I guess, but
Yeah.
because Sid was supposed to be the guy, and then I
Yes.
remember Diesel, Kevin Nash, he cut a promo,
Mhm.
and when he cut a promo, he did a shoot interview. I'm sorry, he did a shoot interview. He spoke about how Vince wanted Sid to be the guy, and he was like, and Sid was like, no, I just want to be a main event player. I don't want to be the guy. And then Diesel, Kevin Nash is looking at him like, dude, he's giving you the fucking keys to the kingdom.
To the kingdom.
He's trying to make you the next Hogan.
Right.
Yeah, and he was just like,
I like
no.
softball.
He was like, nah, he didn't want it. yeah, right. So it's like, what? Yeah, so Sid wasn't as smart as he thought he was.
No.
What was that comment he made?
Oh,
Like,
dude.
I better have the brain.
Half the brain that I have. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right about that.
Right, exactly.
So having said that, the whole Warrior thing not amounting to much, Justice thing not amounting to much, did that take away from Mania 8 for you guys? What did you guys think of the show overall?
I thought, nostalgically, the matches were okay, but the charisma, it made up in as far as charisma, entertainment value, nostalgia, it was good. Just being able to go back and look at something that, because to be honest, I haven't seen I've seen portions of WrestleMania 8. I've never seen all of WrestleMania.
The whole thing.
Yeah, this was my first time watching this whole thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty long show.
It was a long show. Not as long as some of them.
Yeah.
How about here from you, Jay, man?
It was good. What I did notice, like especially in the first match with Sean and Santana, like Sean still was overselling. Like he did like a whole jumping twist from a inverted atomic drop, and I'm like, really, Sean? and I guess pre leg slapping, I noticed Jake the Snake was doing a lot of stomping with his punches. So I guess.
Oh yeah, stomping
so
was
like,
the old.
okay.
Yeah, slapping is the new stomping. Yep, that's true.
Right, exactly. But imagine if somebody came and did both. Like every punch was a stomp, and every kick was a leg slap.
Yeah. That is true. The slapping is the new stomping. That's true because they used to do that a lot. They would stomp when they would punch. Yeah. Didn't think about that.
Kyle, Song, you guys got anything to add about this show? Or
I mean, it's pretty consistent of the manias of this era where it's like good in the beginning and then it slowly becomes bullshit.
Yeah, they usually kick it off hard and then it just kind of depends on who's the card, whether it's the right mania for you.
I mean, it
really just depends on that card in this era, especially because we know, like, no matter which mania from this era you're talking about, you're going to get like the same consistent matches out of like the mid-carders, like your Harts and your Michaels, but then you're going to get your heavyweights that are kind of bullshit. So it just kind of depends on how the card falls, right?
Yeah. If I was to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10.
I'd probably say it's probably like a C minus.
And I'd probably give it like 3 stars. That's something that we just came up with like last episode. We thought we would give ratings, but all do different ones to make it confusing as shit. But
I would say though, like, if they would have just put Flair and Savage on last, it might have like bumped the rating.
That world title should go on last.
Yeah. I really hated the fact that the world title was in the middle of the show. That made no sense to me at all.
You know what bothers me the most about the pay-per-view?
What's that?
The WrestleMania is that it wasn't Hogan and Flair.
I know.
Because you had Hogan and Flair. You had, you had the biggest wrestler at the time, which is Hogan. Then you had Ric Flair, who was like the other biggest wrestler. You know what I'm saying? And
this was the dream match of when we were kids.
Exactly. Yeah. And Vince had it, and he blew it.
I'm so glad you brought that point because that is a huge point.
Yeah. He blew that one. And I was just like, and I realized when I was a young kid, like I knew who Flair was in WCW.
Right.
I didn't care. I only cared about Sting and Hogan and people. And the only person I really cared about in WCW was
Sting.
Sting and the Road Warriors.
The Road Warriors, yeah.
That's what I really cared about. But then when it came to WWF, I cared about everybody else. So when I got older and I began to learn more about who Flair was,
all the other stuff,
how big he was, I was like, wait, hold up, Flair was in WWF and he had the world title and him and Hogan never fought?
You realize how big a missed opportunity that was, huh?
Travesty.
Right. You could have brought back WrestleMania. I mean, you could have brought revitalized Hulkamania because at that time Hulkamania was going through that decline. You could have did that with Flair.
Yep, absolutely agree. One cool thing that I looked up about this Mania that I wanted to mention to you guys before we move on, the El Matador versus Shawn Michaels match was because the Marty Jannetty Shawn Michaels match that should have taken place around that time, because this is right after the barbershop incident. This is where this feud should have been happened. Couldn't be because Marty Jannetty couldn't appear due to an arrest. So that's one thing.
He was apparently one of my clients.
There you go, the cocaine cowboy. Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing that I'd say took away from this Mania 8 is you've got that natural feud that probably should have happened that would have been a better match. Another thing that was kind of cool is that Bret Hart and Roddy Piper passed off their blading as an in-ring accident, while Ric Flair was fined several $1,000s for blading himself.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny that they were able to get away with it. All right. we got one more thing to do before we hop off of this show. It's been real fun reviewing Mania 8. I wanted to keep this secret. My Wrestlemania 8 trivia.
Okay.
Here's how we're gonna play it. All right. So I thought it would
Hold
be a
on,
little
wait,
bit of fun.
wait. Before you answer that, I have one question.
Absolutely.
So watching that Mania, it kind of had me thinking. So I have a question for everyone.
Oh, great.
Outside of main eventing WrestleMania, if you was able to pick, you had a match at Mania, and you was able to pick where you were on the card, where would you want to be on the card? Would you want to be the first match, the second, third, and etc.?
Cannot be the last match.
Man.
Yeah, it can't be the last because I mean that's the obvious answer.
I want to open it up.
Yeah,
I
I was
open
gonna say,
that,
get me opened, get me paid, and get me back in the locker room where the beer is on ice.
Exactly. Yeah, that's easy.
I would.
Important.
Okay.
No, I was just making a statement. I was just saying that the opener and the closers are the most important.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I agree. I would say I would open, and the reason I say that is because you don't got to follow nobody. Like you just go out there, you can freestyle, you can be relaxed, but
you set the whole pace.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Because Triple H said it when him and Randy Orton had their title match, that main event to that Mania. It's hard for him to do that after Shawn and Undertaker. Like,
yeah, what you gonna do?
Actually, Triple H was actually slighted.
So you don't gotta
like that. Like there was 2 WrestleManias he was slighted. It was that WrestleMania with him and Randy, and then it was the WrestleMania with him winning the world title after he had returned to fight Jericho, and he had to follow up against Hogan and Rock.
Yeah,
right.
Twice, it happened twice. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, great question, J-Man. Love it. So that's everybody, or does Song not answer? I don't think Song.
No, I'd open the show.
Open the
So
show.
I could go back and drink.
Yeah. All right. So our secret WrestleMania 8 trivia is up next. So I thought it'd be fun to have a little fun spirited game with you guys. Our listeners can play along as well. Now, since I got you to do the getting to know you section earlier, I want Song to be my main person for this team. But don't worry, you're going to get to
Perfect.
You're going to be able to be in there with us as well. You're going to be able to do stuff too.
He's excluded Kyle. He's just out of it.
No. I said Kyle will play. We'll take a part. Yeah, we're all about exclusion here.
All right, Kyle.
Screw the professor.
You get a little part.
You don't want him to fucking be on this team. I'm just kidding. But
right.
So I said, don't worry though. Yeah, everybody's gonna have a chance to play though. So wrestling talks and thoughts.
Yes.
I need you guys to pick somebody to represent your team, and the other guy's gonna play too.
J Mack Maine, because we didn't hear J Mack Maine too much.
Okay, so you're gonna be the main guy here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the way that this is gonna work is there are 9 trivia questions, 1 for each match.
Okay.
So I got questions for you guys to answer and a bonus question in case of a tie. All right. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to ask a question.
Mhm.
If you know the answer, buzz in by saying your name. Don't scream it because that's an editing nightmare. I'll kill you. I was kidding.
Okay.
But if you can answer the question with no multiple choices, you get 2 points. Okay. So that's with no multiple choices. If I ask the question and nobody buzzes in with their name, I'll then provide the 3 choices. If a player buzzes in with the correct answer, then it's worth 1 point. If you do the multiple choices, you can get help from your partner 3 times during the game.
All right.
So if a partner knows the answer, it's okay for the partner to say their name instead, but only 3 times. So make it impactful. Okay?
What if I just text Kyle without you guys knowing?
No internet?
We're on the internet.
No, right. But don't look for answers. We're going to use the trust system. Don't heal it up. Don't heal it up. This is a fun-hearted game. Fun-hearted game. So we have Song representing Pin the Champ, and we have J-Man representing Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Ready to play?
Let's do this.
Rock and roll.
All right. Trivia question number 1. What did the back of Shawn Michaels' jacket say during his WrestleMania 8 entrance?
You said the back?
Yes. The back of Michael Jackson. What did the back of Shawn Michaels what did the back of Shawn Michaels jacket say during his entrance?
We could do
To
Michael
Mania
Jackson. That's fine.
So, all right. Nobody's got it. Y'all ready for multiple choice? Y'all want to
Yes,
give it
multiple choice.
Yeah, multiple choice.
All right. Remember, buzz in with your name.
Because he was not the Heartbreak Kid at the time.
All right. So A, Sean and Sensational Forever. B, I'm too sexy for this crowd.
Mhm.
C, Mirror Mirror.
Jay.
All right, Jay, go ahead.
I'm gonna go A.
Sean and Sensational Forever. That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
All right. Should we do steal? Should we give the other team a chance to steal? I'll leave it up to you guys.
Sure, why not?
Wait. Hold on, wait.
Okay, we're waiting.
We get the answer again. We get how many chances?
No. You get. So if you know the answer, you can say your name, but only 3 times. You can help him 3 times during the game. This is question 1.
Okay.
If you want to say your name,
You don't want to use it yet,
and give it a guess, you can, but it will count as your shot.
How many questions are we going through?
We have, I think 9.
9 questions. Okay. I think I know this one.
And a tiebreaker. All right. All right. So Cyhim.
Okay. The dream. All right.
Yep.
I say Mirror Mirror.
Nope. It is not.
I should have.
So see, the problem is guess what that does? If both of you guess, it leaves them with 1 question.
Right.
Yeah.
For the steal.
we can just call. You know what? None of us knew this answer. We can just call this one a draw.
Just call it a draw and go on.
Just call this a draw.
Cool.
I mean, by process of elimination,
Yeah, the correct answer for this one was I'm too sexy for this crowd.
That's a lot to put on a jacket.
How does he fit that on his jacket?
I don't know. Watch Mania 8 again and check it out. All right, y'all ready for questions?
And it was a Steelers jacket too. On top of that,
Yeah.
It was a Steelers jacket?
Sleeveless.
Sleeveless.
Oh, sleeveless. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't remember it being a Steelers jacket. All right, y'all ready for question 2? The score stands as 0-0. All right, number 2. Where did Bobby Heenan say that the Undertaker goes for holidays?
Transylvania. Oh, sorry.
Oh, is that you gotta call it your name? Is that your
No. No.
Okay. So I guess it's multiple choice time.
Yeah.
All right. So where did Bobby Heenan say that the Undertaker goes for holidays? A, 1313 Mockingbird Lane. B, the Bowels of Hell. Or C, Elm Street.
Song B.
That is incorrect.
Fuck.
Would you like to go for the steal? Okay, Jay?
No. Go ahead. We can go for the steal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, you got it.
I want to say, because one is Jason. I mean, one is Freddie, and one is. I'm gonna say 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
That is correct.
That's correct.
That is correct. 1313 Mockingbird Lane. That is the home of the Munsters.
Right.
Yes. So that means that you guys got the 1 point because we said the multiple choice. So right now it stands at Wrestling Talks and Thoughts had the lead with 1 point to pin the champ. None. Man, you guys suck.
All right.
I'm joining the other podcast.
They gave us a heads up.
it's called a surprise trivia. All right, ready for number 3?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Question 3. During the Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper IC title match, when Bret attempts to apply the sharpshooter for the first time during the match, but cannot apply it successfully, what's the next move Bret hits Roddy with to continue his offense?
Pile driver.
That doesn't count because you didn't say your name. Is that your official steal? Yeah, it has to be because you said an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one, and pile driver is incorrect. So I'm gonna repeat the question back, and then if we don't have it by then, I'm gonna start giving the multiple choices, and at that point, it'll be a 1-point question.
Okay.
During the Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper Intercontinental title match, when Bret attempts to apply the sharpshooter for the first time, but cannot apply it successfully, what's the next move Bret hits Roddy with to continue his offense? A, boot to the solar plexus while holding both of Piper's legs. B, catapult into the turnbuckle. C, elbow drop.
I'm going to steal this one. Boot to the solar plexus.
You chose A, boot to the solar plexus. While I have seen Bret Hart finish many or come out of many sharpshooters with that exact move, he did not do it this time. Nice try. So that's
I was thinking that too, but I was like, that's kind of
one. Cool.
Yeah.
So we've each used one steal so far. This question is still open, right? Because you tried to steal. Oh wait, no, you tried to answer. So now it's these guys' turn to try to steal. Did you want to try to steal?
Is it the catapult him to the turnbuckle?
It is not. It is the elbow drop.
Guys, we're not good at trivia.
That's one of Bret's
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was the elbow drop. He just hits him with that straight Bret the Hitman Hart elbow drop. All right, so we are about to hit question number 4, and the score stands at 1 Wrestling Talks and Thought and 0 Pin the Champ. All right, so once order number 4, once order was restored to the 8-man tag team match, which 2 competitors started the match off?
I have no idea.
Was it A, Jim Duggan and the Mountie, B, Big Boss Man and Nasty Boy Knobs, or C, Jim Duggan and Nasty Boy Sag? You don't get
song.
Okay.
It's I think Boss Man started the match with was it B?
So B, Boss Man and Nasty Boy Knobs. And the correct answer is not B. It was not Boss Man and Nasty Boy Knobs, which leaves A, Jim Duggan and the Mountie, or C, Jim Duggan and Nasty Boy Sags.
I'm going to go with C.
C. That is correct. Jim Duggan and Nasty Boy Sags started that match off. That gives Wrestling Talks and Thoughts 2 to Pin the Champs 0. And Jermaine is gone. So we'll go ahead and finish this off with Song versus Cyhim. So right now we're at 2-0 Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. And so that takes us to our next question. We're just going to make this one. I just realized this question doesn't make any sense unless I give you the responses. So we'll just make this one straight 2 points. Okay. We'll give it maximum points and we'll give the multiple choices. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right, cool. All right. So when Elizabeth came to ringside during the Savage versus Flair match, the WWE official that was not present attempting to get her to return to the backstage area was A, a Hebner brother, B, Shane McMahon, or C, Gerald Briscoe.
You sure it wasn't Adam Pearce?
Adam Pearce? Well, I don't even think Adam Pearce was with the company.
Way too young.
Is that your final answer, J-Man?
No, definitely not. I'm gonna go. It's one. It's. I know it's one of these 2, and it's the luck of the draw. I'm gonna go a Hebner.
That is incorrect. I'm sorry. Yeah, unfortunately, that was incorrect. So that leaves us with, and at this point, listeners, we have Jermaine back on, we have Cyhim back on, and we just have Song on representing Pin the Champ. So Kyle had to leave. So we're just going to go ahead and eliminate the partner rule. I'm just going to go ahead and let it be. Song, you got to hold us down, buddy. I'm making this a making this a hand.
Right.
I'm making this a handicap match. I'm making this a handicap match.
All right.
Okay. So from here on out.
That's fine.
So So
So just shout it out.
So
Just
yeah, I
shout it
mean,
out, right?
you can say your name or whatever you want to do, or you can try to give your answers. Fine, but so we know it's not a Hebner brother, so you get the chance to steal here. Was it Shane McMahon or
Then there's the other guy that normally around Pat Patterson.
Hebner brother or Shane McMahon's or Gerald Briscoe?
No, it's Briscoe.
Briscoe is correct. All right, so we got Pin the Champ, and we did 2 points for that. So now it's 2-2. It's a tie ball game. Where the hell did Song go? He's totally gone.
Right here.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Oh.
you just like absorbed into your background. I thought you turned into Sid Justice. All right, question 6. What color were the armbands that Tatanka wore during his match against Rick Martel?
Blue.
That is incorrect. All right, I'm going to go ahead with a multiple choice at this point. All right, what colors were the armbands that Tatanka wore during his match against Rick Martel? A, white and black. B, red and white. C, blue and red.
Let's try C.
Blue and red?
Blue and red.
You are correct. Song hates me now.
Blue.
He's-
Blue was there.
That's half. Yeah, blue and red. It was blue and red. All right, so that's an extra 2 points, right? For Wrestling Talks and Thoughts.
So we have 6 points now.
4-2. Yep, it's 4-2. Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Come on, Song.
These questions are bullshit.
Oh man, thought we were a team.
Oh man, we kicking your ass.
Yeah, you guys are.
Yep. All right. So question 7. All right. What animal did Bobby the Brain Heenan compare the natural disasters to when giving advice to Money Incorporated on how to get them down to the mat? You have 5 seconds, and I'm going to turn this into a 1-point question by giving the question with the answers. All right. What animal did Bobby Heenan compare the natural disasters to when giving advice to Money Incorporated on how to get them down to the mat? A hog, B, an armadillo, or C, a turtle?
J.
All right, Jay.
If I know Bobby Heenan like I know Bobby Heenan, his old school humor, I'm gonna say a hog.
Hog is incorrect.
What? Okay,
All
maybe
right.
I don't know Bobby Heenan.
Song for the steal. Song for the steal.
It's a what were the choices again?
You got
Armadillo.
or turtle. What animal did Bobby Heenan compare the natural disasters to when giving advice to Money Inc. on how to get them down on the mat?
I'm gonna say armadillo.
You suck. You're incorrect.
Oh
buddy.
man.
Oh,
You
it
sure?
was. I'm sure.
Are you sure?
I paused and rewinded and everything.
I need your notes, man.
Oh shit. So it was C. Bobby Heenan said that they needed to get natural disasters down on their backs like a turtle. Yeah. All right. WrestleMania say
Jesus,
number 8.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, man. 4-2, man. We're getting our asses kicked here by Wrestling Talks and Thoughts.
This is ridiculous.
Good.
Hey, it's cool.
Baby.
All right. So question 8.
Bullshit.
Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. WrestleMania 8 marked Owen Hart's blank time that he performed at a WrestleMania.
Jay, you know this.
Question 8. Fill in the blank.
I'm gonna steal this one.
You stealing it? Okay.
First time.
That would have been selection A was first time, but that is incorrect.
What?
That's incorrect. Song with the steal.
Second time.
And you did that with no multiple choices, and that is correct. It was his
my
second
God.
time. It was his
It has
first.
to be a second time.
It was his first. it was his
I
first-
know, right?
So here's the thing.
I'm glad you went first.
Yeah, it was his first time. It was his first time as Owen Hart, but his second time because he was Blue Blazer. He was Blue Blazer in WrestleMania 5 against Mr. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so this brings us to our
Wait,
last.
what?
Say it. Yeah.
He was wrestling. He was a blue. So he was a Blue Blazer way before.
Yeah, for the
Of
incident.
course. Yeah,
Oh.
I do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit, I didn't
Yep.
know that.
Absolutely, that was him at WrestleMania 5 against Mr. Perfect.
It's okay. I didn't know Edge already wrestled Undertaker, so we're even.
All right. Well, guess what, man? It could not be getting any more exciting than this because we have a 4-4 tie at this point.
Okay.
All right. So this brings us to our last question. If nobody gets it, then we'll go into a tiebreaker. But this otherwise will be the winning question. So get your, I guess, names in your mouths. hands on your buzzer. All right. So question number 9. And Jermaine, can you still hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm here.
Okay, perfect. During the pre-match interview with Sid Justice, this goes back to Sid Justice, by the way. I thought I had to throw in a hilarious Sid Justice terrible promo question.
Because he got half the brain. That's what it is.
During the pre-match interview with Sid Justice, Sid stated that quote, "I am the master and you are but the blank, Hogan. You are but the blank." I'll repeat that. During the pre-match interview with Sid Justice, Sid stated that, quote, "I am the master and you are but the blank, Hogan. You
Hope he
are
didn't say
but
slave.
the blank." I'm gonna let that slide. That was not your steal, was it? That was just a joke. That was just a joke. Just a joke.
Just a joke.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it again, and I'll go ahead and give the questions as well. And it'll turn into a 1-point question. So whoever gets this will be winning by 1 point if somebody gets it. So during the pre-match interview with Sid Justice, Sid stated that, quote, "I am the master, Hulk Hogan, and you are but the blank. You are but the blank." Is it A, servant, B, learner, or C, victim?
B, learner.
I'm gonna go Jay.
Yeah, well,
knowing Sid, I'm gonna go C.
Okay. So with this last one,
B.
it got really close, but B is correct. Learner. And that is exactly why this is a horrible promo, right? Because the natural thing to say if I'm the master would be like, you are the servant, or you are the, it's exactly what you would have thought. It would have been, you're like, I hope it's not that. And it seems like that's what it would have been. But learner, oh my God, what a terrible, you are but the learner. Anyway, guys, that was it. It was 5-6. We barely pulled out and eked out a win. But congratulations, Song and Pin the Champ, on that lighthearted, fun trivia. I could tell Cyhim's ready for round 2. He's like, I need to be ready for another round of that. We would love to.
I like Cyhim joke of an answer. It was the 90s. He probably would have said that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that actually would have been more fitting for that.
Right.
That would have been way more fitting.
But what's hilarious, Cyhim, is that the tiebreaker question you would have gotten, because literally it was, this wrestler threatened not to work his scheduled Mania 8 match if he wasn't granted his release by Vince McMahon. You talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
Shake the snake.
Big snake.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So that was actually the tiebreaker question. That's why I was giving you a little smile when you were talking about that. I was like, oh shit. He knows one of the trivia questions.
You could have just asked it. You could have just asked it just to see what happened.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
But hey, man, thanks for playing. That was I wanted to get some kind of fun little game together for us to play. Thank you, guys, for being on the show today. J-Man and Cyhim the Dream with Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Like I said, WrestleMania 8.
Anytime.
Yeah, absolutely a blast talking about with you guys. Did you guys have anything else to plug before we go today? Anything else you want to get in?
No, only just if you guys are checking out Pin the Champ, yes, You can also check us out, Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. We do live shows. We would love to have you guys, anybody that's listening, we'd love to have you guys check us out on YouTube. We go live on Facebook Live. If you want to know how we go live on Facebook Live, you can check out our group. We have a group and we have a group page, and we have a page. And if you just subscribe to one of those pages, you will get our lives and get a notification. Well, you can hit the star for the reminder notification whenever we go live. And also check us out on YouTube, Wrestling Talks and Thoughts, and hit the subscribe button, subscribe, and check us out.
Absolutely. We definitely will. We look forward to having you guys again down the road, man. Y'all take care and have a great weekend. And for all of our listeners, thank you so much for listening to our episode. We'll see you later on Pin the Champ.
All right.
Bye.
As always, thank you so much for listening. Now we want to hear from you. You can hit us up at pinthechamppodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at pinthechamp123, and our Google Voice number is 804-446-1139. We can't wait to hear from you.